Chapter 1621. Invitation from the Secret Realm Strategy Group. Lin Mo was a little surprised. Why would Xu Jiangxing send him a message? The message didn't mention the specific matter, only to contact him when he was free for a face-to-face chat. Here, face-to-face chat naturally wasn't in the real world, but in the virtual world of the Human Emperor Network. Xu Jiangxing also gave Lin Mo a coordinate in the message, a coordinate within the Human Emperor Network. Lin Mo sat on the skeletal giant dragon, his consciousness entered the Human Emperor Network, and teleported to the coordinate given by Xu Jiangxing. In the Human Emperor Network, there was no danger, so Lin Mo didn't need to have too many concerns. The scene rippled like water, and before him was a quaint little courtyard. It was planted with many flowers, plants, and trees, colorful and vibrant. What was unique was that every flower, every blade of grass, and every tree was different, with no repetition. Although this was a virtual world, it could also explain the personality of the courtyard's owner. The courtyard's owner must also have a wonderful and adventurous heart. The courtyard gate was wide open, and Lin Mo stepped into it. The fragrance of flowers rushed towards him, and in a certain area, the Human Emperor Network simulated the corresponding scent. Lin Mo frowned slightly. It wasn't that he disliked the fragrance of flowers, but he didn't like the smell formed after so many kinds of fragrances were mixed together. The courtyard was also planted with a large number of flowers and plants, and like the outside, there was still no repetition. There were at least 1,000 kinds of flowers and plants here. This arrangement was really unusual. In the courtyard, there was a small table, and Xu Jiangxing and another person were sitting at the table, seemingly talking. Seeing Lin Mo, Xu Jiangxing immediately got up. "Senior brother Lin." Lin Mo nodded. "Junior brother Xu, what's the matter for suddenly looking for me?" As he spoke, he looked at the person beside Xu Jiangxing. This was a strong man, nearly 2 meters tall, with a burly figure, comparable to Chu Shang. Lin Mo guessed that Xu Jiangxing was looking for him. It should be related to him. The other party didn't hide his information. Ji Yu Wenshan, Little Divine Venerable. Lin Mo vaguely remembered that he should have seen the name Ji Yu Wenshan. He quickly searched his memory for Ji Yu Wenshan. In the Divine City Starfield, there were many secret realms, but very few could clear them. Anyone who could clear a secret realm would be listed as a top genius. Ji Yu Wenshan was one of them, and one of the best. Ji Yu Wenshan had cleared a total of 3 secret realms, and there hadn't been many people like him in the human race throughout history. Xu Jiangxing hadn't spoken yet. Ji Yu Wenshan had already taken the lead. "I asked junior brother Xu, actually I have something to ask senior brother Lin." His words carried a hint of domineering aura, obviously a temperament developed after being in a high position for a long time. He had a domineering aura but wasn't overbearing. The whole person looked extraordinary. Lin Mo had already guessed, and cupped his hands towards Ji Yu Wenshan. "Senior brother Ji Yu, what do you need me for?" Ji Yu Wenshan said, "Recently, I have been hearing about senior brother Lin's great name. I want to invite senior brother Lin to join us." Lin Mo's eyes moved slightly. "Join you?" Ji Yu Wenshan smiled, looking very amiable. "Senior brother Lin may not have heard of us. We are called the Secret Realm Strategy Group. Outsiders call us the Strategy Group. Our strategy group is divided into 3 levels: primary, intermediate, and advanced. I am the leader of the primary group. What we do is to strategize and clear secret realms. We don't have many people, but they are all geniuses. At least they have all cleared one secret realm. An organization established specifically for strategizing secret realms. The number of people wasn't large, but they were all elite geniuses. At least one secret realm had to be cleared to be eligible to join them. Because he had cleared 2 secret realms, Ji Yu Wenshan took the initiative to invite him. Lin Mo quickly sorted out his thoughts, neither refusing nor agreeing. "What benefits can I get from joining you?" Lin Mo's question was very realistic. If there were no benefits, then why join? Could it be just to contribute to your secret realm strategy group? Lin Mo hadn't reached such a noble level. Anyway, strategizing secret realms wasn't impossible for him. Ji Yu Wenshan smiled and his eyes revealed confidence. "Naturally there are benefits. First of all, our strategy group can provide a large amount of information about secret realms. Not the kind of secret realm information in the Human Emperor Network, but more detailed and comprehensive secret realm information. Secondly, we can provide many exclusive magic weapons used in secret realms. These magic weapons can save lives in secret realms. Also, in addition to strategizing secret realms, we are also researching secret realms, looking for the origin of secret realms. This information can also be shared. Lin Mo's heart moved slightly, just listening to Ji Wenshin's words. It was indeed tempting. Entering secret realms, the most important thing was actually a large amount of information. As long as there was enough secret realm information, many dangers could be avoided. As for exclusive magic weapons, that was secondary. Lin Mo was confident in his own life-saving methods. Lin Mo also had his own speculation about the final origin of the secret realms. If he could get more information and verify it with each other, that would naturally be better. However, there was no free lunch in the world. If you want to get something, you must also have a corresponding payment. He looked at Ji Wenshin and directly opened his mouth. What do I need to do? Ji Wenshin laughed. Senior brother Lin is indeed straightforward. In this world, there is reward only with effort. The information in the group is actually everyone's own experience, gathered together. If senior brother Lin needs to view those materials, he only needs to submit his own experience and information about the secret realm. We will evaluate and give a grade. As long as the grade is reached, you can view all the information in the same grade. The grade that Ji Wenshin said was actually the same set of things as the grade in the Rune Master Association. Corresponding grades can view corresponding information. This was no problem. Lin Mo asked, specifically, how are the grades divided? At this moment, Lin Mo had already shown enough interest. Ji Wenshin also knew that Lin Mo was already tempted, and immediately explained in detail the specific division in the strategy group. The condition for joining the strategy group was to clear a secret realm. After clearing the secret realm, the Human Emperor Network will have an announcement, which can't be faked. After joining the strategy group, they would be a first-order member. After that, continue to strategize the secret realm. If you can successfully clear another secret realm, you can become a second-order member. Clearing 3 secret realms will make you a third-order member. Of course, it's not necessary to clear the secret realm to improve the grade. After all, the secret realm was too difficult and very dangerous. Not many people can really clear it. As long as you can provide further information in the secret realm, you can also improve the grade. For example, the Poisonous Bee secret realm has 3 stages. No one has ever entered the second stage. You entered and obtained the information of the second stage. Even if you didn't pass the second stage, as long as you submit this information to the group, you can still improve the grade. Of course, this kind of improvement was slower. It may take several pieces of information. Unlike Lin Mo Yu, now as long as he joins the strategy group and submits the information on the Poisonous Bee secret realm and the Golden Radiance secret realm, he will directly become a Tier 2 member. Chapter 1622. A flower, a blade of grass, a tree. Ji Wenshin's sudden appearance and the olive branch he extended surprised Lin Mo Yu somewhat. In fact, Lin Mo Yu himself was extremely interested in the various secrets of the ancient times. However, much information might be hidden in one secret realm after another. Being able to understand those runes might allow him to obtain many secrets from the ancient times. Originally, he was planning to continue searching for suitable secret realms to see if he could clear a few more. Even if it was purely for Divine City merits, he would do so. After receiving excess rewards, he no longer cared for basic tasks. To advance to the intermediate level, he needed 10,000 Divine City merits. Each basic task was worth 10 Divine City merits, requiring 1,000 tasks. For many cultivators, that would take hundreds of years. He didn't want to waste hundreds of years on this. But secret realms were indeed dangerous, and Lin Mo Yu was well aware that he might capsize in the gutter if he wasn't careful. If he had enough information, it would be completely different. Gathering a large amount of information would allow him to analyze many possibilities, thereby avoiding danger. Currently, joining the Secret Realm strategy group didn't seem to have any disadvantages for him. Moreover, with the Human Emperor Network, he didn't have to worry about the strategy group being detrimental to him. Junior brother Lin, how have you considered it? Ji Wenshin's eyes were full of confidence, as if he was certain that Lin Mo Yu would join. Lin Mo Yu smiled. I don't seem to have a reason to refuse. Ji Wenshin's smile became even brighter. Indeed, there is no reason to refuse. Only by helping each other can we reach the true peak. Our goal is not only the other shore realm, but also to surpass it. Ji Wenshin knew about the existence of the other shore realm, which didn't surprise Lin Mo Yu. He even suspected that behind the secret realm strategy group, there might be a big shot from the other shore realm. Just like how the Rune Masters Association had a big shot from the other shore realm behind it. The greatest benefit of clearing secret realms would naturally go to those big shots in the other shore realm. Lin Moyu received an invitation from Ji Yuwenshin. Ji Yuwenshin invites you to join the Secret Realm Strategy Group. Do you agree? He chose to agree. You have joined the Secret Realm Strategy Group. Your level in the Secret Realm Strategy Group has been raised to Tier 2. From that moment on, Lin Moyu's character information had one more entry. Secret Realm Strategy Group Tier 2 member. However, he didn't have permission to view the information at this level yet. He needed to submit detailed information about the Poisonous Bee Secret Realm and the Golden Radiance Secret Realm in the next few days. Otherwise, his Tier 2 membership would only be nominal, and his permissions wouldn't be fully unlocked. The Secret Realm Strategy Group was also operating under the guidance of the Human Emperor Network. The Human Emperor Network wouldn't have loopholes for you to exploit. Ji Yuwenshin let out a hearty laugh. Welcome to the group, Junior Brother Lin. If there's a chance in the real world, I'll treat you to a drink. Lin Moyu smiled slightly. All right. Ji Yuwenshin said, when you have time, Junior Brother Lin, submit the information on the 2 secret realms. The Human Emperor Network will verify it quickly. Lin Moyu nodded. I'll do it now. As he spoke, he closed his eyes slightly, communicated with the Human Emperor Network with his soul, and quickly submitted the information in his mind in the form of memories. His soul was extremely powerful, and the speed at which he submitted the information to the Human Emperor Network was also very fast, completing it in just over 10 seconds. Lin Moyu reopened his eyes. The information has been submitted. Ji Yuwenshin looked surprised. So fast. He immediately checked and found that Lin Moyu had indeed submitted the clearance information for the Poisonous Bee Secret Realm and the Golden Radiance Secret Realm. The information was currently being verified, and the results would be available soon. He had also submitted information before, so he knew the process. This method of submission was a soul-level communication, requiring concentrated soul power to transmit data in the form of memories. The whole process would take about 15 minutes. He didn't expect Lin Moyu to use only a dozen seconds, and submit 2 copies at once. He didn't doubt the authenticity of the information submitted by Lin Moyu. It was impossible to fake it in front of the Human Emperor Network. This could only mean that Lin Moyu's soul was astonishingly strong, at least much stronger than his. Ji Yuwenshin gave a thumbs up. Junior Brother Lin, what a strong soul. Lin Moyu smiled slightly and didn't explain anything. Soon, the Human Emperor Network's verification ended, confirming that the 2 pieces of information submitted by Lin Moyu were authentic and valid. Lin Moyu's status as a Tier 2 member was also completely confirmed. He could view all the information below Tier 2 in the Secret Realm Strategy Group. One thing the Secret Realm Strategy Group had different from the Rune Masters Association was that he could directly access the information, without being limited to where he could view it. Unlike the Rune Masters Association, he had to go to the Rune Master Pagoda in the Human Emperor Network to view the information. But one rule was the same: the information in the Secret Realm Strategy Group was not allowed to be spread outside. Ji Yuwenshin left. His mission this time was to invite Lin Moyu. Now that the mission was completed, he successfully retreated. Lin Moyu and Xu Jiangxing chatted for a few more words, and then the 2 separated again. This world was like this, with partings and reunions, all normal. After the 4-star region competition, everyone returned to their respective homes. Chu Shang and Zhuang Bai returned to the Vermilion Bird Star region first, as did Shui Zilan and Qing Fei. However, they agreed to enter the Divine City together next year and venture into the Divine City. Lin Moyu originally didn't plan to come to the Divine City. He wanted to go to other star regions to see. But by chance, he entered the Divine City. And inadvertently, he made a name for himself in the Divine City and became the focus of everyone's attention. This was the uncertainty. All things and events originally had many uncertainties. Even the law of destiny couldn't accurately describe the future. What was seen through the law of destiny was only one possibility of the future. That was why Lin Moyu was always cautious. Perhaps if he entered a secret realm, he would leave his life inside. Lin Moyu's consciousness returned to himself, still thinking about the previous conversation with Ji Yuwenshin. Before Ji Yuwenshin left, Lin Moyu asked him, why are there so many flowers and plants here, and each one is unique? Ji Yuwenshin's answer surprised him somewhat. Ji Wenshin's eyes showed some grief at the time, and his voice carried a bit of emotion. This is a projection of reality. There is an identical courtyard in the real world. Every time a member falls in a secret realm, a flower, a blade of grass, or a tree will be added here. Each flower, each blade of grass, each tree is unique, representing a unique life. Perhaps one day, I will become a member here too. But I hope that day doesn't come. I want to explore the secrets of the world and reach the true end. It had to be said that Ji Wenshin was an idealist, and Lin Moyu agreed with his words. But whether he could reach the end depended on fate. Lin Moyu sighed. Who doesn't want to reach the true end, but can they? Maybe one day, I'll become a flower, a blade of grass, or a tree. But no matter what, I have to keep moving, I can't stop. Brushing aside extraneous thoughts, he started reviewing the materials from the Secret Realm Strategy Group. Chapter 1623. Go back, or I'll cut you down. The Secret Realm Strategy Group had comprehensive information. As a Tier 2 member, Lin Mo had access to information on the majority of secret realms in the primary zone. Of course, not all secret realms had information available, some remained blank. Looking at this data, Lin Mo had a systematic understanding of the secret realms within the Divine City Starfield, no longer limited to vague concepts. Within the Divine City Starfield, there are currently 6,691 secret realms, distributed across advanced, intermediate, and primary zones. The advanced zone currently contains 281 secret realms, with 1 cleared. The intermediate zone currently contains 722 secret realms, with 12 cleared. The primary zone currently contains 5,688 secret realms, with 161 cleared. The advanced zone has the fewest secret realms. Originally, there were 282 secret realms, but after one was cleared, 281 remain. The defining characteristic of these secret realms is danger, extreme danger. According to the data, anyone below the 7th level of Divine Lord who enters is guaranteed to die. The data didn't specify who cleared the secret realm, but it's safe to assume it was someone incredibly powerful. Within the Secret Realm Strategy Group, members are divided into 9 tiers, from Tier 1 to Tier 9. Generally, members active in the primary zone are Tier 3 or below. For example, Ji Wenshin, as a team leader in the primary zone, is only a Tier 3 member himself. Advancing to a Tier 4 member isn't easy, requiring the submission of a large amount of secret realm data. Of course, if you clear several secret realms, you can advance smoothly. According to the data, from the near ancient era to the present, over 10,000 years, only 174 secret realms have been truly cleared by humans. Fewer than 100 geniuses have cleared secret realms. Because some people have cleared more than one secret realm. However, the number of people who sacrificed themselves trying to clear secret realms exceeds 3,000. These 3,000 people were all geniuses, including some top geniuses who had previously cleared secret realms. This shows how difficult and dangerous secret realms truly are. After reviewing the overall data, Lin Mo began to examine the specific secret realm data. The secret realm data was like a vast ocean, enough to keep Lin Mo occupied for a long time. He couldn't just look at the data of one secret realm, he needed to combine multiple sources and cross-reference them for better results. For example, the Golden Radiance secret realm and the Poisonous Bee secret realm have many similarities. Based on Lin Mo's understanding of secret realms, both secret realms evolved from a fragment of the same rune. Therefore, the two secret realms share many similarities. The same is true for other secret realms, they may be related to other secret realms. Lin Mo quickly became immersed in the ocean of knowledge. He began to absorb a large amount of secret realm information, trying to deduce the methods for clearing the secret realms and how to ensure his own safety. At this time, there were approximately 120 days left to reach the destination, primary 13,283 star system, which was ample time for him to review all the data. In a distant place 90,000 light-years away from the human race starfield, a giant star tree was traveling at high speed. Its volume was too large, larger than ordinary star systems. It charged straight ahead, and even if stars stood in its way, it would not change direction, crashing directly into them. The stars were shattered by its impact. Countless vines danced, plundering the stars along the way. It swallowed the stars into its roots, absorbing their power. When Lin Mo saw it in the Hall of Contemplation, its roots only contained one star. Now the number of stars had increased to 3. One of the stars was already very dim, and it was about to go out. Suddenly, it stopped. A giant eye appeared on the tree. The giant eye was much larger than the stars, and within the giant eye, there seemed to be another star. The branches and vines of the star giant tree slowly danced in the star. Although it was just an involuntary dance, the space still made a sound like cloth being torn. A large number of spider web-like cracks appeared in the space, as if it would collapse at any time. Its giant eyes looked forward, reflecting a figure. "You want to stop me?" A huge voice resounded in the star. The space shattered like glass, revealing a huge black hole. A large number of energy turbulence flew out from behind the space and raged in the star. Fortunately, this was an unmanned star, otherwise the nearby star systems would be destroyed. Hao Shungjun stood quietly in the energy turbulence, and the energy turbulence actively avoided him. "This is not a place for you to come, go back, or I will kill you." Hao Shungjun's voice was calm, unlike the star giant tree, which had a huge movement. But this voice was like the scythe of the god of death, which actually made the star giant tree tremble involuntarily. Wow! Large swaths of space collapsed again. At the level of the star giant tree, every small movement can cause a huge reaction. The giant eyes of the star giant tree narrowed slightly. This person, who looked smaller than dust, brought it a terrible aura. After a few seconds, the star giant tree snorted coldly, "I'm here to find someone, you hand him over to me, and I'll leave." Hao Shungjun frowned. "Who?" The star giant tree swayed gently. "I don't know who he is, I know he's a guy from your human race, and I've memorized his breath." As he said that, a leaf on the star giant tree fell off and exploded, and a breath echoed in the star. This breath was not unfamiliar to Hao Shungjun, it belonged to Lin Mo. Lin Mo, how could he have anything to do with the star giant tree? It seems that the star giant tree has suffered a loss in his hands. Hao Shungjun shook his head. "You can't take him away." 440 The eyes of the star giant tree showed anger. "Are you going to fight me for a small guy? You should know my abilities. If I don't care about anything, at least hundreds of your human race's star systems will be destroyed. You should be able to figure out the gains and losses here." Hao Shungjun's attitude became more and more firm. "I'll give you 10 seconds, if you don't leave, then you don't have to leave." The star giant tree trembled, and a large number of leaves fell. Each of its leaves was tens of thousands of miles long, about the size of an ordinary star. 10 seconds was very short, and Hao Shungjun didn't give the star giant tree much time to think. Hao Shungjun's aura was not obvious, and he looked no different from ordinary people. But only the star giant tree could feel a kind of oppression from the soul level. They are all on the other side, but there are also great differences in the other side. Only the absolute powerhouses on the other side can be called the Holy Venerable. The star giant tree doesn't count. It only relies on the fact that it is a plant-based creature and controls the laws of space to be qualified to talk to Hao Shungjun. But if it really fights, it knows very well that it is not Hao Shungjun's opponent. The star giant tree shook more and more violently, and the falling leaves had already covered the star. 10 seconds passed, and the falling leaves exploded at the same time. The space was fragmented, and this star was completely collapsed. Chapter 1624. You actually control the ancient talisman. Each leaf was the size of a star. Now that they exploded, it was as if countless stars exploded simultaneously, and the entire galaxy collapsed. Space collapsed, it was like the end of the world. In the explosion, the starry sky giant tree suddenly disappeared. Holy Emperor Hao snorted coldly, courting death. His figure flickered, and he disappeared as well. The terrifying explosion could not hurt him at all. 10,000 light-years away from the explosion, there was a desolate galaxy. This galaxy had no life, no resources, only a star and 3 planets, making it a small galaxy. The starry sky giant tree abruptly appeared here, its massive body smashing the only 3 planets to pieces. At the same time, the branches wrapped around the star and directly reported to the roots. Originally, there were already 3 stars under the roots, but now one of them was completely extinguished. The starry sky giant tree's spatial jump exhausted all the remaining power of this star. Trying to stop me is a dream. The starry sky giant tree snorted coldly, its figure disappearing again. It activated another spatial jump, then reappeared 10,000 light-years away. The jump was completed almost instantly, faster than a teleportation array. One jump allowed it to cross 10,000 light-years. Another star under the roots was extinguished, discarded like trash. The starry sky giant tree was too large, and each jump consumed the energy of an entire star. If it didn't rely on stars and used its own power for spatial jumps, its power would be exhausted after only a few times. The power of the other shore realm was not endless. This jump didn't land in a place with a star, so it couldn't be replenished. Only 2 stars remained in the roots. After 2 consecutive spatial jumps, the starry sky giant tree paused for a few seconds, searching for its next target. Soon it locked onto a target, a galaxy with a star. As for whether there were living beings in the solar system, it didn't care at all. It was all the same to it, it only needed the star. As for the lives on the planets, their life and death had nothing to do with it. At its level, it saw others as ants. It saw Lin Moyu the same way, except that Lin Moyu, the ant, had provoked it and ruined its plans. So it wanted revenge. It knew that as long as it could reach the human race star territory, Holy Emperor Hao would not dare to act rashly against it. Otherwise, as it said, once a war started, it would be enough to shatter hundreds of galaxies and kill countless humans. Even Holy Emperor Hao couldn't bear the consequences. The star was shining brightly, and the starry sky giant tree was about to perform another spatial jump. The laws of space surged, but suddenly, everything changed, and the laws of space abruptly collapsed. The huge eyes on the tree narrowed sharply. The rules, they've been changed. The rules of the surrounding starry sky had been changed, and the laws of space had lost their effect. Immediately afterward, Holy Emperor Hao appeared before it. The starry sky giant tree was incredulous. How could you be so fast? It used the laws of space to traverse tens of thousands of light years in an instant. 2 jumps were 20,000 light years. Although Holy Emperor Hao was a holy emperor, he didn't have the laws of space, so how could he catch up so quickly? Holy Emperor Hao didn't explain to it. There was no need to explain to a dead man. Holy Emperor Hao took out a formation plate, which suddenly enlarged, projecting countless runes. The runes connected to form a talisman formation, covering hundreds of millions of miles of starry sky, and also enveloping the starry sky giant tree. The entire space solidified, becoming extremely sturdy. Even if those in the other shore realm fought inside, it would be difficult to shatter the starry sky. Similarly, the starry sky giant tree's laws of space were also restricted, preventing it from performing spatial jumps again. Die. Holy Emperor Hao struck out with a palm, and a huge palm print appeared in the starry sky, falling towards the starry sky giant tree. In the center of the palm, a huge talisman appeared. The talisman was not complete, with some defects and remnants, but it was already extraordinary. The starry sky giant tree let out a strange cry. Ancient talisman, you actually control the ancient talisman. Its cry revealed terror. In its understanding, the ancient talisman was synonymous with danger. If it was just a fragment, or a corner, that would be fine. But if it was a relatively complete ancient talisman, that would be a very terrifying thing. Countless branches and vines flew out, lashing towards the palm print. The stars in the roots shone brightly, providing the starry sky giant tree with immense power. The branches shattered before they even touched the palm print. The power of the ancient talisman was unimaginably strong. The starry sky giant tree screamed repeatedly, but couldn't stop the ancient talisman. Holy Emperor Hao's palm landed on it, and a small half of the starry sky giant tree's body suddenly shattered. Large swaths of branches broke off. This palm had at least knocked off 1/5 of its body. How could a holy emperor be this strong? Impossible, a holy emperor can't be this strong. It wasn't like it hadn't fought with holy emperors before, it had also fought against the demon race's holy emperor. Although it wasn't a match, it couldn't have been beaten so badly. And even if it couldn't win, it could completely retreat calmly. This was its confidence. It never felt that the human race's holy emperor would be much stronger than the demon race's. Until now, it realized it was wrong, terribly wrong. At this time, Holy Emperor Hao's second palm had already struck out. The starry sky giant tree began to fight desperately, struggling frantically. The originally stable starry sky showed traces of cracks again. It also possessed the power of rules. Holy Emperor Hao could change the rules, and it could also reverse the rules. At the same time, a vast power of rules also permeated the branches, meeting Holy Emperor Hao's second palm. Lin Moyu was immersed in the ocean of knowledge. He found that he really liked reading various materials. The materials not only contained information he didn't know, but also the wisdom of his predecessors. For example, in a secret realm, there was a large river. This large river would constantly emit a charming fragrance, attracting you to take a sip. If you drank it, then congratulations, you were doomed. But if you didn't drink it, then you couldn't start the second stage. The river was the entrance to the second stage, drinking it was the key. So what to do? Someone came up with a way. He made a puppet, and at the same time used his soul to reside in the puppet, and drank the river water. At the moment of drinking the river water, the soul returned to the body. This tricked the runes and opened the second stage. And passed the second stage, but unfortunately didn't find the entrance to the third stage, and ultimately had to give up. There are many such people and things. The secret realm data contains a large number of things to pay attention to. This time, the Chu 13283 star system that Lin Mo is going to has a secret realm called Black Rain, and also an ancient battlefield. This is also the reason why Lin Mo chose it. Both the secret realm and the ancient battlefield are places he wants to go. Lin Mo has finished reading the information about the Black Rain secret realm. The Falling Rock secret realm has at least 3 stages. The first 2 stages have been cleared, and they were cleared by the secret realm strategy team. Detailed strategies are already available, but the third stage has not been discovered. After Lin Mo enters the secret realm, what he needs to do is to enter the second stage and find out how to open the next stage. Lin Mo now fully understands why the Human Emperor Network does not allow such strategies to be spread on a large scale. If everyone follows the strategies to do tasks, the tasks will indeed become simpler, but they will no longer serve the purpose of training cultivators. It completely goes against the original intention of the human race's high-level officials and violates the iron law of survival in the Great World. Chapter 1625. Skill approaching the Tao, why is he glowing? After reading the numerous materials in the Secret Realm Strategy Group, there are still more than 50 days before arriving at the Chu 13283 star system. Lin Mo turned around and entered the Human Emperor Network, walked into the pagoda of the Rune Masters Association, and began to systematically learn rune knowledge again. He had learned rune knowledge once before, and even established his own rune system, and had his own understanding of runes. That knowledge came from a large amount of information on the Human Emperor Network, some of which was incomplete, and Lin Mo himself had to sort it out. The information about rune masters in the Human Emperor Network is more than enough for beginners, but it is still not systematic and comprehensive enough. After entering the Rune Masters Association, Lin Mo's goal is to use the systematic rune knowledge in the Rune Masters Association to reorganize his own rune system. It is equivalent to consolidating his foundation again during cultivation, leaving no defects or loopholes. After Lin Mo entered the Rune Masters Association pagoda, he chose a secluded spot on the first floor to sit down and communicated with the Human Emperor Network to retrieve information. A book appeared in his hand, exactly the same as the books in other people's hands. The book is just an appearance, the difference is the content inside. The content displayed in the book will change according to Lin Mo's needs. The content on the first floor is all basic rune knowledge. Upon verification, Lin Mo found that it was indeed more detailed than the public information on the Human Emperor Network. Many key points are not available in the public information. Lin Mo sat on the first floor of the Rune Masters Association pagoda for 20 days, reading all the information on the first floor and integrating it into himself. His unique rune system became more complete. Lin Mo seemed to have some understanding of the essence of runes, but this understanding was unclear and could only be felt by himself. 20 days later, Lin Mo walked to the second floor. On the second floor, there are various materials for second-order rune masters. The materials for second-order rune masters are basically basic runes, and the amount of material is greatly reduced. There are some specific applications of runes and some experiences. However, these are not of much help to Lin Mo. Most of the basic runes have been mastered and are extremely proficient. Lin Mo just glanced at them casually. He encountered 2 basic runes that he had never seen before, but they were also runes with little use. Even if he hadn't learned them, Lin Mo could deduce these 2 runes when needed. Lin Mo only stayed on the second floor for 5 days before arriving at the third floor. The third floor has more comprehensive basic rune information and a few advanced rune information. There are no more cultivation experiences from other rune masters here. The Rune Masters Association hopes to see 100 flowers bloom, and hopes that each rune master has their own understanding. Too many cultivation experiences will only affect those truly talented rune masters, and may even lead people astray. Unless there is guidance from a high-level rune master, that is another matter. Lin Mo quickly read all the rune information on the 3rd floor, and 3 days later, he entered the 4th floor. On the 4th floor, there are no more basic runes. All the information has become advanced runes. However, there are simple and complex distinctions among advanced runes. As a place where 4th order rune masters can come, the advanced runes encountered inside are relatively simple. Lin Mo's method of learning advanced runes is different from ordinary rune masters. He learns through the advanced runes in a rune language, and the advanced runes in a rune language belong to extremely high-level advanced runes. From a certain level, the advanced runes recorded in a rune language are the general outline of a certain type of advanced rune. Lin Mo also uses these advanced runes to decompose and reverse master a large number of advanced runes. This decomposition-style learning method has a very high starting point, but it also has drawbacks. That is, it is impossible to decompose comprehensively, and there will always be omissions. The information in the Rune Masters Association has become the best supplement. Lin Mo once again stayed on the 4th floor, and he learned and mastered advanced runes at an astonishing speed. Perhaps because of his amazing talent, Lin Mo felt that learning advanced runes was not difficult at all. Even the complex advanced runes in a rune language can be mastered, let alone these simple advanced runes, which are even less stressful. Almost every half hour, he can master an advanced rune, and many advanced runes were originally mastered by Lin Mo, so it is even faster. Lin Mo sat in the corner of the 4th floor, holding a book in one hand and constantly gesturing with the other, drawing one rune after another in the void. He did not inject soul power, did not give the runes spirit, and the runes would soon dissipate in the void after being drawn. However, Lin Mo could fully sense whether the runes he drew were successful. On the 4th floor, there were many 4th order rune masters also cultivating and learning runes. They were attracted by Lin Mo's actions one by one, and they all turned their attention over. Lin Mo's movements when drawing runes were so smooth that there was an unspeakable beauty. It was as if he was the most perfect textbook, telling everyone that runes should be drawn like this. As long as there is a difference from him, it is wrong. Lin Mo constantly demonstrated the drawing method of each rune, which was pleasing to the eye and eye-opening. Many rune masters realized some tricks from Lin Mo's drawing. Vaguely, there was a feeling of sudden enlightenment. After watching for a while, some rune masters sent messages to their friends. Come to the 4th floor of the Rune Masters Association Pagoda, there is a god demonstrating rune drawing. Come and learn from the big shot drawing runes, don't miss the opportunity. There is a great person drawing runes, come and learn. The rune masters spread the word, and one rune master after another teleported over. In the blink of an eye, there were already thousands of 4th order rune masters standing on the 4th floor, and the number was still increasing. Fortunately, there is enough space in the Rune Masters Association, and it would not be crowded to stand tens of thousands more people. Everyone was very tacit, no one made a sound, and just watched Lin Mo quietly. Lin Mo drew runes with incomparable concentration, one after another. Here, he doesn't have to worry about danger, so he is fully focused and wholeheartedly invested in it. Constantly drawing runes, Lin Mo felt that his skill in drawing runes had increased a lot again. That inexplicable sense of familiarity surged into his heart again, as if he had drawn these runes before. Lin Mo's movements in drawing runes had subtle changes, becoming more perfect. For some reason, in the eyes of the rune masters, a faint light rose from Lin Mo's body. The light was very weak and very soft, covering Lin Mo like a dream. Strange, why do I feel like he is glowing? Yes, I have this feeling too, he seems to be glowing. It's not an illusion, I saw it too, he is really glowing. What's going on? I feel an urge to worship. I also have this urge, this feeling is too strange. Old Ancestor Shu in the core area suddenly widened his eyes. With a point of his finger, a screen of light lit up in the void, reflecting the situation on the 4th floor of the Rune Master Pagoda. Chapter 1626. Tao Rhythm, this seniority is a mess. Old Ancestor Shu's unusual behavior immediately attracted the attention of the many other Shore Realm big shots. These other Shore Realm big shots are usually too idle, and even the slightest disturbance will attract them to join in the fun. In the picture, Lin Moyu's whole body radiated a faint light, drawing one rune after another. Thousands of people were surrounding Lin Moyu, and from time to time, some people closed their eyes and began to draw runes like Lin Moyu. It's a pity that they only resemble the form but not the spirit. Several other Shore Realm big shots looked at the faint light on Lin Moyu's body, and they were all stunned. They had seen great storms, and there were not many things that could stun them. Old Lin looked at Lin Moyu and sighed, "Good heavens, this is Tao rhythm." Then he looked at old ancestor Shu. "Old Shu, you don't seem to have triggered Tao rhythm, have you?" Old ancestor Shu snorted, "Shut up." He didn't respond to old Lin's words, but stared at Lin Moyu without blinking. Madame Yu smiled gently beside him. "It seems we underestimated little friend Lin. He is only a god king, yet he can touch Tao rhythm. In terms of runes, his talent is unprecedented. Not only unprecedented, but probably also unmatched in the future." A dignified voice sounded, and Holy Venerable Hao appeared beside everyone. Madame Yu chuckled, "Holy Venerable, your evaluation of little friend Lin is so high." Holy Venerable Hao said softly, "It's not that my evaluation is high, but that he is too outstanding." Was this trip of the Holy Venerable smooth? Old Lin suddenly asked. The starry sky giant tree is approaching the human race. If it is not resolved, it will be a big problem for the human race. Holy Venerable Hao said, "It escaped, but it should not be able to return within 1,000 years. Old Lin was not surprised. The starry sky giant tree possesses the law of space and can also change the rules. It is difficult to truly kill it. Several other Shore Realm experts felt that this was indeed the case. It was already a good result that Holy Venerable Hao could severely injure the starry sky giant tree. The law of space is indeed very difficult to deal with in this regard. If it desperately wants to escape, it is difficult to catch up. Madame Yu pondered, having had it once, it would be a disaster to keep it. But the law of space is indeed very troublesome, and there are no cultivators in our human race who specialize in this area. Perhaps, we can borrow someone from the starry sky fish people race. The human race, fully known as the starry sky god human race, is one of the 4 origin races in the great world. It has a good relationship with the starry sky fish people race, which is also one of the 4 origin races. There are occasional interactions between the 2 races. Although the starry sky fish people race is already in a semi-secluded state, they generally do not refuse if the human race asks for help. Moreover, the starry sky fish people race is most proud of the law of space. If their other Shore Realm expert takes action, it will be much easier to hunt down the starry sky giant tree. This time, Holy Venerable Hao was able to cross 20,000 light years to catch up with the starry sky giant tree, also with the help of a magic weapon from the starry sky fish people race. Holy Venerable Hao said in a low voice, "Let's discuss this matter later." The starry sky giant tree has already been severely injured and is unable to fight back within 1,000 years, so there is indeed no need to rush this matter. Madame Yu did not insist. In a few years, the once-a-century origin race assembly will begin. She didn't say it explicitly, but everyone understood the meaning of her words. Old Lin chuckled, "I heard that there is a princess in the starry sky fish people race who has comprehended the law of space and is very remarkable. I wonder how she compares to little Lin." Madame Yu glared at him, "Don't get any funny ideas." Old Lin chuckled, "I didn't say anything." At this moment, a faint light suddenly lit up, causing unusual fluctuations. Everyone felt as if their souls were rippling, and a void chanting sound suddenly rang out in the core area. It was as if some supreme existence had descended in the dark, preaching and imparting the law to everyone. If you listened carefully, you couldn't hear anything at all. The sound was faint, with an indescribable rhythm and regularity, making people feel awake and fascinated, unable to extricate themselves. All the other Shore Realm big shots changed their expressions. A faint light lit up on old ancestor Shu, exactly the same as the faint light on Lin Moyu. Tao rhythm. Old Shu has actually touched Tao rhythm. He was infected by Lin Moyu's Tao rhythm and had an understanding, which is why he touched Tao rhythm. Then things are interesting. Is old Shu going to call Lin Moyu, teacher? Call my ass. If old Shu calls him, teacher, what should we call Lin Moyu? They are of the same generation as old ancestor Shu. If old ancestor Shu calls Lin Moyu, teacher, what should they call Lin Moyu? Wouldn't the seniority be messed up? Silence. Holy Venerable Hao suddenly spoke. In an instant, everyone closed their mouths, and the entire starry sky fell into silence. Holy Venerable Hao winked, and everyone retreated hundreds of thousands of miles, leaving a huge space for old ancestor Shu. The Tao rhythm on old ancestor Shu's body became stronger and stronger. He fell into his own comprehension, ignoring the outside world. The light of Tao rhythm became more and more intense. Old ancestor Shu stretched out his hand and began to draw runes. His speed was extremely fast. His hand turned into an afterimage. In less than a second, a high-level rune was drawn. Then the second, the third, the fourth. One rune after another flew out and stayed in the starry sky. Each rune had form and spirit and was a genuine rune. Each rune exuded an astonishing power, possessing the power to destroy stars. Old Ancestor Shu, with his other Shore Realm body, has studied runes for tens of thousands of years. His understanding of runes is not comparable to Lin Moyu. Tao rhythm is the highest expression of touching a certain path. Lin Moyu inadvertently touched the highest point of the path of runes, showing Tao rhythm. And Old Ancestor Shu had always been a little short of Tao rhythm. This time, he suddenly realized with the help of Lin Moyu's Tao rhythm. Finally, he touched Tao rhythm. In Tao rhythm, countless insights arise spontaneously. Old Ancestor Shu drew one rune after another, each of which was an extremely powerful high-level rune. From the initial 1 per second, to 2 per second, to 3 per second, faster and faster. In a short while, the starry sky was filled with runes, and thousands of runes densely wrapped Old Ancestor Shu. Then these runes began to combine and merge together. The runes became thick, three-dimensional, and cracks appeared in the space, as if it could not bear the weight of the runes. When thousands of high-level runes merged into one, a brand new rune appeared in everyone's sight. Ancient rune. Everyone was shocked. Old Ancestor Shu actually drew a complete ancient rune. The ancient rune exuded an astonishing aura. Old Ancestor Shu opened his mouth and inhaled, and the ancient rune was immediately sucked into his body. In the next moment, Old Ancestor Shu's aura exploded. Retreat again. Holy Venerable House shouted softly, and everyone immediately retreated hundreds of thousands of miles upon hearing this. Above Old Ancestor Shu's head, a purple soul leapt out. The ancient rune, which he personally drew and fused, was now in the soul's hand. The soul held the rune in one hand, and the rune deformed in the soul's palm, turning into a pagoda, which looked exactly like the Rune Master Association's pagoda. The pagoda has 9 floors, of which the first floor has been lit, and the remaining 8 floors are still dark. The soul held a pagoda in its hand, its purple light growing increasingly intense, and its aura becoming stronger. Until a red light appeared within the purple soul, and Old Ancestor Shu's aura reached its peak. Saint Venerable. Strength. Chapter 1627. Creating a Rune Undead Legion. Saint Venerable. The same thought occurred to everyone. Old Ancestor Shu had become a Saint Venerable. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Old Ancestor Shu had created his own ancient runes and integrated them into his soul, turning them into a soul magic treasure. Using this to achieve the body of a Saint Venerable. Old Ancestor Shu's aura swept across the starry sky, reaching places tens of thousands of light years away. The powerful pressure made countless divine venerables tremble in their hearts. This pressure lasted for several days before dissipating, and Old Ancestor Shu also regained consciousness at this moment. Saint Venerable Hao's voice rang out clearly, "Congratulations, Taoist friend Shu, our human race has gained another Saint Venerable." Old Ancestor Shu bowed slowly to Saint Venerable Hao and the others, and with his movements, the entire starry sky trembled. "Thank you, fellow Taoists, for your protection. Saint Venerables are currently the most powerful force of all races on the surface. Having one more Saint Venerable will greatly strengthen the human race's power." Old Lin muttered in his heart, "I was just saying that it would be great if the human race had a few more Saint Venerables. How did old Shu become a Saint Venerable? Now the fun begins. He owes that kid Lin such a big favor. Old Shu is going to have a headache." According to the rules, it wouldn't be an exaggeration for old Shu to call Lin Mo a teacher. He thought a lot in an instant, even finding it a bit amusing. However, on the surface, he still followed the rules and bowed to Old Ancestor Shu. "Greetings, Saint Venerable." "Greetings, Saint Venerable." All the Beyond Realm cultivators present bowed and greeted according to the rules. Saint Venerable Hao said in a low voice, "Taoist friend Shu, you can choose a title for yourself." Old Ancestor Shu pondered for a few seconds before slowly opening his mouth. "The teacher entered the Tao with runes, so I should also use runes as my title." As soon as he said this, heaven and earth shook. The entire great world felt it, buzzing non-stop. A unique rhythm was transmitted in the great world. This rhythm was somewhat similar to Tao rhythm, but also different. The rhythm carried joy, as if the great world was also celebrating the birth of Rune Saint Venerable. This rhythm could only be sensed by some Beyond Realm cultivators and peak divine venerables. Those with weaker strength would not feel anything. Saint Venerable Hao nodded and smiled. Good, good, from now on there will be no old ancestor Shu in the world, but one more Rune Saint Venerable. Everyone present bowed again. Greetings, Rune Saint Venerable. In the Human Emperor Network, Lin Mo was still drawing runes. The Tao rhythm still existed, without any change. His speed of drawing runes remained consistent, maintaining stability. When all the high-level runes of a 4th-order rune master were drawn, Lin Mo did not stop, but instead started the second round of drawing. Lin Mo didn't understand the meaning of Tao rhythm, and didn't even know that he had already touched Tao rhythm. He had already entered a special state, not enlightenment, nor cultivation, but Tao comprehension. The Human Emperor Network, in many cases, is a projection of reality. In reality, Lin Mo sat cross-legged on the skeletal dragon, his body also enveloped in Tao rhythm, emitting a faint light. In the dark starry sky, he became the most dazzling star. Tao rhythm is the most outstanding manifestation in the path of cultivation, it only appears when one touches the true essence of a great Tao. Lin Mo had touched the essence of the rune Tao at this moment. It was just that his own level was not high enough, and he couldn't directly fuse ancient runes and advance to Saint Venerable like old ancestor Shu. But being able to touch Tao rhythm was undoubtedly beneficial to Lin Mo. Lin Mo understood the true use of many runes, and could use runes to accomplish many incredible things. The root of this world is the Great World Runes. A single rune supports the entire world, explaining all the laws, all the rules, all the principles in the world. But it doesn't mean that studying the rune Tao is the only way to the top of the world. All paths lead to the same destination, no matter which path you take, they will eventually converge. It won't be that you are one step ahead of others just because you take the rune Tao. For example, Saint Venerable Hao and Rune Saint Venerable, the two don't walk the same path, but both can achieve Saint Venerable. And both have the hope of continuing to break through. It is difficult to say who is strong and who is weak in the end. For Lin Mo, the rune Tao is not his foundation is still the undead law, the undead legion, and his own talent spells. The rune Tao can be used well for assistance. Before touching Tao rhythm, spells were spells, and runes were runes. They existed independently of each other. But now, Lin Mo could fuse the two together, making each other stronger. Lin Mo drew a high-level rune. The meaning represented by this high-level rune is armor. Its function is to transform into a piece of armor, resist a certain amount of damage, and has a function similar to a magic treasure. It can be used on oneself, or on others. According to Lin Mo's current ability, the armor transformed by this rune can block the attack of a Divine King Realm Cultivator in a short time. Even the attack of a minor Divine Venerable can be blocked a few times. After drawing the high-level rune, Lin Mo quickly drew several basic runes at an astonishing speed. Strengthening, firmness, metal, flexibility, stability. 10 basic runes were completed in one go, and then these runes were integrated into the armor rune under Lin Mo's manipulation. The armor rune became thick and three-dimensional, and different images appeared on the rune. The rune seemed to have the color of metal and looked more solid. Go! Lin Mo shouted softly, and the rune flew onto the skeletal dragon under him. The skeletal dragon let out a dragon roar, its body shining brightly, and a huge armor vaguely appeared. The armor sparkled and disappeared after flashing for a few seconds. However, a little golden light appeared in the soul fire of the skeletal dragon. If the golden light was magnified, it could be seen that it was a rune, the rune that Lin Mo had just drawn. With a thought from Lin Mo, the skeletal dragon activated the rune, and a layer of transparent light golden armor instantly covered its huge body. Lin Mo carefully sensed the strength of the golden armor. The defense of the skeletal dragon with the rune has undergone earth-shaking changes. At this moment, even if a 2.1 minor Divine Venerable takes action, without using any passive spells, and without the undead legion sharing the damage, the skeletal dragon itself can withstand the attack of a minor Divine Venerable. Roughly estimated, if a minor Divine Venerable wants to break the defense of the rune, they need to attack at least 100 times, and it is the kind of full-strength attack. Even a Divine Venerable, the armor transformed by the rune can block 1 or 2 strikes. Such an improvement is not insignificant. And the rune armor has been integrated into the soul, even if it is broken, it doesn't matter, the rune is not collapsed and damaged, at most it is just energy exhausted. It will absorb energy in the soul fire, and after the energy is sufficient, it can be used again. Now it's just integrating the rune into the soul, and it has such a good effect. If the rune can be integrated into the whole body, how strong can it be? Lin Mo had an idea, perhaps he could create a terrifying rune undead legion. Chapter 1628. The Teacher of Thousands of Rune Masters. As the Tao rhythm dissipated, Lin Moyu also stopped drawing runes. Opening his eyes, he saw thousands of people surrounding him. Although they didn't get too close, their gazes seemed a bit strange. Some people's eyes were filled with excitement, while others showed admiration. Most of them seemed to be still immersed in the experience, as if they hadn't seen enough. What's going on? Lin Moyu didn't react for a moment. He recalled in his mind and realized that he should have entered some kind of special state just now. He seemed to have drawn the 100 or so advanced runes that a fourth-order rune master should master, dozens of times. In that indescribable special state, the feeling of drawing runes was extremely satisfying, and he became immersed in it unknowingly. At the same time, he did make significant progress and gains. The biggest gain was fusing a high-level armor rune with 10 basic runes, turning it into a special high-level rune. This was a rune that didn't even exist in a rune language. It was a rune completely created by himself. If classified by level, this rune might be weaker than ancient runes, but it was already a top-notch high-level rune. The key was that this rune had a good effect, which could greatly increase the survivability of the undead army. Lin Moyu named it Golden Armor Rune 18. Under the silent gaze of thousands of people, Lin Moyu slowly stood up and flew towards the 5th floor. These people in front of him were all 4th-order rune masters and were not qualified to enter the 5th floor. Suddenly, everyone bowed to Lin Moyu at the same time and shouted in unison, "Thank you, teacher." Lin Moyu was stunned for a moment, feeling very strange. "Why do you say that?" Someone immediately replied, "Just now you showed us truly perfect rune drawing. We benefited a lot from it and had many insights. Although your actions were unintentional, the benefits we received were real. So, it's not an exaggeration to call you teacher. Those who achieve are teachers. Your attainments in runes have surpassed us countless times. Even those high-level rune masters are difficult to compare with you. Although you are not our teaching master, your previous actions can be regarded as half a teacher." Everyone spoke one after another, and Lin Moyu understood. Since that was the case, he did not refuse and accepted it frankly. After all, they did benefit from him. Although there was no formal master-disciple relationship, they already had the substance of it. Calling him teacher was not an exaggeration. Lin Moyu nodded, "Then you can continue to comprehend." Having just returned from the Tao rhythm state, Lin Moyu exuded a trace of Tao aura. Every word and deed was like this, carrying a special majesty that made people respectful. Just as Lin Moyu was about to step into the 5th floor, someone suddenly shouted, "Teacher, can you tell us your name?" Lin Moyu stopped and said in a deep voice, "Lin Moyu." As his voice fell, Lin Moyu had already disappeared from everyone's sight. The 4th floor of the Rune Masters Association Pagoda was completely in an uproar. God, he is Lin Moyu. The first place in the 4-star territory competition, Lin Moyu who cleared 2 secret realms. How could it be him? Didn't he just come to Divine City not long ago? How did he become a rune master, and suddenly reach this level? I remember that people in the 4-star territories don't come into contact with runes. Genius cannot be measured by common sense. One day of cultivation for them is equivalent to several years or decades for us. Genius, this is the real genius. Among the 4th-order rune masters, there were divine kings, minor divine sovereigns, and a few divine sovereigns. They were either from extraordinary backgrounds, had excellent talents, or many of them managed a rune master branch in a star system. But at this moment, without exception, they admired Lin Moyu immensely. The 5th floor had a completely different atmosphere from the 4th floor, as if they were 2 different worlds. Here, it was solemn and quiet. The previous commotion on the 4th floor had not spread here. Here, more than a dozen 5th-order rune masters were sitting quietly. They did not pay attention to the arrival of Lin Moyu and were still immersed in their own worlds. Lin Moyu didn't say much. He found a place to sit down and began to check the relevant rune information. After the Tao rhythm, Lin Moyu found that these advanced runes were no longer difficult for him. Almost all of them could be mastered easily. He only read them once and had completely mastered them. In just half a day, Lin Moyu stood up again and walked towards the 6th floor. He entered the 6th floor without any hindrance. Although he was only a 5th-order rune master, the Human Emperor Network gave him special privileges, allowing him to go to the 6th floor. There were even fewer rune masters on the 6th floor. The composition of rune masters was like a pyramid, with fewer people at higher levels. The runes that 6th order rune masters came into contact with were already the most difficult among the high-level runes. After checking the information, Lin Moyu confirmed that these high-level runes were actually the runes in A rune language. Moreover, the comprehensiveness was not as good as A rune language. However, Lin Moyu did not give up. He patiently read all the runes on the 6th floor. After confirming that all the runes here could be found in A rune language, Lin Moyu left the Rune Masters Association. With his consciousness completely returning to his main body, Lin Moyu fell into deep thought. If I guessed correctly, 7th order rune masters should be arranging rune arrays. The 1st to 6th orders are the process of learning and mastering individual runes. Starting from the 7th order, it is about using these runes to arrange rune arrays. Then the 8th order can also be easily deduced. It may be arranging more advanced rune arrays or fusing runes. As for the 9th order, Lin Moyu had not yet thought of the requirements for a 9th order rune master. The certification of a 6th order rune master requires mastering 100 high-level runes, which he had no problem with. But in addition to this, to become a 6th order rune master, he also needed 10,000 Divine City merit points and the status of an intermediate member of Divine City. He could not achieve these two things yet, so he could only take his time. Opening his eyes, a huge star system was slowly magnifying in his vision. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and he stopped in the starry sky. The Chu 13,283 star system was close at hand, but now Lin Moyu had other things to do, so he was not in a hurry to go to the new secret realm and ancient battlefield for the time being. In the starry sky 100 million kilometers away from the Chu 13,283 star system, Lin Moyu sat cross-legged on the skeletal dragon and slowly closed his eyes. All his consciousness and spirit sank into the soul world at this moment. He was going to do two things. The first was to arrange a new great formation of faith in his soul. The second was to add golden armor runes to the undead army. After these days of accumulation, the power of faith had exceeded 6,000 units, and he could have arranged the great formation of faith long ago. The reason why he didn't do it was because Lin Moyu felt that his rune level was not enough to arrange a perfect great formation of faith. Just like the previous great formation he arranged, it seemed successful, but it was still far from perfect. So he waited until now, until his ability to master runes had reached a new level, before Lin Moyu truly began to arrange the great formation of faith. Not only did he want to arrange a new one, but he also wanted to transform and strengthen the old great formation of faith. In addition to the great formation of faith, there was also a major project. Hundreds of millions of undead legions were waiting to be fed, waiting for his golden armor runes. Chapter 1629, Lin Moyu's Unrestrained Imagination. In the soul world, runes appeared one by one, flying to their predetermined positions, shining brightly. Arranging the great formation of faith for the second time, Lin Moyu's technique was much more skilled than before. The soul eye was activated, allowing him to see the most minute details of each rune and sense the flow of power within them with utmost clarity. From this, he could feel that each rune was more perfect than before. Although each rune had only a slight difference, the final result would be quite significant. The previous faith array was like this, which led to the entire array's operational efficiency not being high enough. In just half a day, a faith array was about to be completed. Lin Moyu drew the final main rune and integrated it into the array. All the meridians of the entire faith array were connected, all the runes were linked together, and it began to operate silently. Compared to the faith array he had set up last time, this array was almost perfect. Looking at the surface, it was impossible to find any problems. Lin Moyu carefully sensed it and could clearly feel that the rune array's operational efficiency had reached its peak. A smile appeared in his soul eye, extremely satisfied with the array he had set up. Go! With a push of his small hand, the faith array flew to the Lish's spell star. Light sprinkled down, enveloping the entire spell star. 50 million liches joined the ranks of faith power, beginning to provide Lin Moyu with faith power. Lin Moyu easily calculated that 50 million liches could provide him with 20 units of faith power every day. Similarly, 50 million skeleton warriors could only provide 10 units of faith power. This was the difference between an array being perfect or not. Once the other faith array is set up, I will modify you. Lin Moyu glanced at the imperfect first array and muttered to himself. Then he began a new round of drawing. Soon, another faith array was set up. 50 million skeleton soul archers also became suppliers of faith power. Lin Moyu did not set up a new faith array, as he still had more than 2,000 units of faith power left, which he would use to modify the first faith array. Among the Undead Legion, the 3 most numerous basic skeletons had all become sources of faith, and the remaining ones added up to only 30 million. Moreover, if he wanted them to become sources of faith, he would need to set up 3 faith arrays. Lin Moyu naturally understood the ins and outs of this. Of course, he would still set up arrays in the future, but not now. His soul flew to the first faith array and began its modification. Modifying an already formed array was more troublesome and complex than setting up a brand new faith array. But Lin Moyu still chose to modify it. He wanted to train his control over runes and rune arrays, and modifying runes and correcting rune arrays from the settle points was more effective than setting up arrays. His soul was fully focused, modifying the array bit by bit. During the modification process, he gained a deeper understanding of the composition of the rune array. Each rune had its own function and meaning, and he also had his own insights into the combination of runes. Lin Moyu's rune array skills were growing at an astonishing rate. Setting up a brand new faith array only took half a day. Lin Moyu could even do it faster if he wanted to. But modifying a faith array took a full 5 days. 5 days later, Lin Moyu's face lit up with joy. The faith array in front of him had a new look, revealing a perfect aura. Lin Moyu looked at his masterpiece and felt a strange sense of accomplishment. The little mouth of his soul also slightly turned upwards. After modification and correction, it could also provide him with 20 units of faith power every day, just like the newly set up faith array. In this way, the daily harvest of faith power had reached 80 units. 60 units came from the Undead Legion, and the other 20 units came from the human race. As his reputation grew, the faith power that Lin Moyu harvested was also gradually increasing. I really don't know how much faith power those beyond realm big shots can harvest every day. The thought flashed through his mind, perhaps he would know when he reached the beyond realm. The faith array had been set up, and the next step was to set up a small array to automatically refine faith power. If he harvested so much faith power every day, he would not be able to truly use it if he did not refine it. But it was too troublesome for him to refine it himself, so Lin Moyu planned to set up a small array and put it in his soul to automatically refine faith power. He had already conceived this array and it was not difficult. Just as he was about to start, he suddenly made a soft sound. He could clearly feel that streams of brand new power were emerging from all parts of his body, flowing rapidly within his body. His whole body felt full of power, and his blood and energy were surging at this moment. His realm had unknowingly increased by 1 level. From God King 4th Order to God King 5th Order. Although it was only an increase of 1 level, Lin Moyu was very clear that every small step forward he took was a huge improvement in combat power. According to this calculation, the skeleton god general probably already possessed the peak combat power of a lesser god. As for the skeleton king, he was enough to face a 2nd order god head-on. This time's realm improvement was somewhat unexpected, but it seemed to be taken for granted. Lin Moyu quickly recalled that his understanding of the laws in his repeated experiences of life and death and in the battles had long reached the edge of improvement. This long-term rune research had become an opportunity, and the improvement naturally came to fruition. The realm improvement was also a surprise. Lin Moyu enjoyed the wonderful feeling brought by the power improvement for a moment, and then immersed his consciousness in his soul again. The eyes of the soul were firm, and the small hands jumped up in a graceful dance, drawing perfect runes one by one. Lin Moyu himself constructed a small rune array. The rune array was very simple, consisting of only a dozen runes. Its function was also very simple, to refine faith power. The main rune of the rune array was the refinement rune, and the other runes were created to make the refinement rune run on its own. Soon, the rune array was completed and then began to operate. The faith power full of impurities naturally merged into it, was refined by the rune array, and automatically transformed into pure faith power that could be used by Lin Moyu. It's done. Lin Moyu was overjoyed. This rune array constructed by himself was running perfectly. He no longer needed to worry about refining faith power. No matter how much faith power was harvested, it would be quickly refined. He took a deep breath. Next, it's a big project. It was definitely unrealistic to send golden armor runes to the entire Undead Legion by drawing them one by one. The golden armor rune was made by fusing a high-level rune with 10 basic runes. Even if he drew with all his strength, it would take at least 10 seconds to draw one. If he wanted all the undead legion to enjoy the golden armor rune, it would take more than 60 years. So Lin Mo Yu thought of a solution. He wanted to create a rune array specifically used to draw golden armor runes. Using a rune array to draw runes sounded like a fantasy. His idea was also whimsical. But Lin Mo Yu felt it was feasible. Based on the rune system he had mastered, he simulated and demonstrated it in his mind and felt that there was no problem. However, whether it was feasible in reality needed further experimentation. Chapter 1630. Using array to create talismans, creating a historical precedent. Using formations to create talismans has never appeared in recorded history. Even those high-level talisman masters, the talisman saints who had just become holy venerables, had never done it. Not to mention having done it, I haven't even thought about it. Lin Mo Yu's thoughts weren't baseless, the secret realms inspired him. Whether it was the Poisonous Bee secret realm or the Golden Radiance secret realm, both ultimately revealed a corner of a rune. This corner of a rune came from an ancient rune. Although only a corner remained, it still exerted terrifying power. The rune fragments in the secret realms all evolved from it. From another perspective, it was actually this corner of a rune that created countless rune fragments. These rune fragments then turned into various dangers within the secret realms. If that's the case, there's no reason why a complete formation couldn't evolve other runes. It was with this as his argument that Lin Mo Yu unfolded his imagination. Ancient runes were existences that transcended high-level runes. They had already turned the impossible into the possible, changed the rules, and possessed incomprehensible power. Lin Mo Yu naturally couldn't change the rules, so he needed to act within the established laws. In his vision, the required golden armor rune would be composed of a high-level rune and 10 basic runes. Therefore, he would need to arrange 12 formations. 10 of these formations would be used to create 10 basic runes. One formation would be used to create a high-level rune. Then, the final formation would be responsible for fusing these runes together. He had already conceived the structure of the formation, utilizing the double-layered structure found in the ancient battlefield. The 11 formations on the surface layer would be connected as a whole, ultimately gathering the runes together, and then the formation in the inner layer would fuse the runes. It should work. After pondering for several days, Lin Mo Yu had a complete structural diagram of the formation in his mind, knowing which runes to use and how to combine them. Having figured it out, the next step was practical operation. He drew rune after rune, and these runes flew to specific locations, linking together in the starry sky. Lin Mo Yu first created a small formation to create a basic rune, the reinforcement rune. If he couldn't even create a basic rune like the reinforcement rune, then there was no need to try further, it would be absolutely impossible to succeed. Lin Mo Yu drew very carefully, not allowing any detail to be wrong. Half a day later, a formation specifically for creating reinforcement runes was completed. After injecting soul force into the formation, it began to operate. At the center of the formation, there was a reinforcement rune serving as the main rune. Soul force flowed through the formation's meridians, into the center of the formation. The reinforcement rune shone brightly, and after the soul force was completely filled, a brand new reinforcement rune flew out from the formation. The whole process was equivalent to replicating the reinforcement rune. It really works. Lin Mo Yu was overjoyed and somewhat excited. The successful creation of the rune was much more exciting than his own realm advancement. His idea had been validated. Since basic runes could be created, then in theory, creating high-level runes was also not a problem. Taking the reinforcement rune that flew out from the formation, he carefully inspected it and found that there were still some issues in the details. Lin Mo Yu immediately adjusted the formation, repeatedly debugging it time and time again. Several more days passed, and finally, a perfect reinforcement rune that met the requirements was created. Immediately afterward, Lin Mo Yu began to arrange the second formation, which was also for creating basic runes. With the experience from the first time, Lin Mo Yu's efficiency in arranging the formation was much higher this time. After the formation was arranged, it operated normally, and then it was debugged and corrected again and again, until the created runes met his requirements. Then came the third formation. Lin Mo Yu was completely immersed in it, tirelessly enjoying it. Time passed day by day, and 100 days passed in the blink of an eye. Lin Mo Yu completed the final debugging. Before him was a huge formation. This formation was composed of more than 2,000 basic runes and more than 100 high-level runes. Seemingly a formation, it was actually 11 formations. Soul force was injected into it, and the formation rumbled into operation. Accompanied by bursts of light, 11 runes slowly flew out. The runes were also perfect, with not a single flaw visible. Including that high-level rune, it was the same. Even the calm Lin Moyu couldn't help but wave his hand, his clenched fist enough to express his feelings. For him, this was a milestone. He had no idea that for the entire human race, even the entire great world, what he was doing now was also a milestone. In the history that started in ancient times, no one had ever done this before. It's not necessarily that it couldn't be done, but that no one would ever do it. Lin Moyu could be said to have started a precedent. After a few seconds of excitement, he calmed his mind again. Next is the most difficult part. In his vision, creating runes was not difficult. The real difficulty lay in fusing the runes. In fact, not just for him, but for all rune masters, the difficulty of fusing runes far exceeded the difficulty of drawing runes. Following the method he had in mind, Lin Moyu began to arrange a new formation. Rune after rune flew out, and this time the runes used became different. Most of the runes contained functions such as squeezing, stabilizing, and fusing. The outer periphery of the formation had 10 holes, specifically for receiving the 10 basic runes. The middle was also a large hole, for receiving the high-level rune. After receiving the runes, the power of the formation would be used to fuse these runes together in a specific order, ultimately forming the golden armor rune. The idea was completely fine in theory, the difficulty lay in the actual operation. Several days later, the formation named Fusion Formation by Lin Moyu took shape in the starry sky. Its volume and scale were very large, even larger than the previous formation. The internal structure of the formation was very complex, and Lin Moyu had considered every detail. The formation for creating runes was the outer formation, and the formation for fusing runes was the inner formation. With the two formations, one outer and one inner, Lin Moyu named them the Golden Armor Formation. The formation had been arranged, and the next step was to experiment. At this time, a god king happened to pass by. Someone is actually arranging a formation here. He was attracted by such a huge formation and flew over with a strong sense of curiosity. After taking a look at the formation, he suddenly let out a strange cry, covered his head, and fled quickly. The formation was too complex, and the three-grade soul of the God King realm couldn't bear it at all. Not to mention God Kings, even lesser God Sovereigns would not be able to bear it after watching for a long time. Only God Sovereigns could observe freely. Lin Moyu looked at the God King who fled in panic, feeling a little helpless. I didn't ask you to come and see, either. You have a strong curiosity, but you can't blame me. The small interlude eased Lin Moyu's tension. Soul force flowed out, first injected into the outer formation. A few seconds later, 11 runes flew out, following the formation's lines, and flew into the inner formation. With the 11 runes in place, the inner formation began to operate. The 11 runes moved towards the center at the same time and began to fuse. Watching the runes combine and gradually become thick, revealing a faint golden light, a golden armor talisman slowly formed. Lin Moyu stared unblinkingly at the formation, watching the golden armor talisman being formed. The eye of the soul had already been opened, and he didn't miss any details, watching with utmost care. A faint golden color bloomed in the starry sky, looking incomparably charming. In just a few seconds, a golden armor talisman flew out from the formation. It's done. Chapter 1631. The True Root of That Great War. A one-time success was something Lin Moyu hadn't anticipated. He was confident that he would succeed, but he didn't expect to succeed on the first try. Surprise comes so suddenly. Looking at the shining golden armor talisman in front of him, Lin Moyu carefully inspected it, and the surprise in his eyes gradually faded. The golden armor talisman was indeed completed, and it could indeed be used. However, it wasn't perfect. There were many incompatible parts in the entire rune. Once used, the effect might not be as good as half of what he could draw himself. Not to mention blocking the attack of a Goda degree, it would be difficult to even block the attack of a lesser Goda degree. What was the use of such a golden armor talisman? What Lin Moyu wanted was a perfect golden armor talisman, and he had his own ideas about the golden armor talisman. The current golden armor talisman was only the most basic version, and there would be more advanced versions in the future, with even stronger defense. In his vision, the golden armor talisman was a rune that could continuously grow and upgrade. If it was only to block 1 or 2 attacks from a Gota degree, it wouldn't be worth making such a big fuss. Now that the golden armor talisman was completed, there was no problem with the formation, it was just not perfect enough. The next step was to find a way to perfect the formation and ultimately fuse a perfect golden armor talisman. This was a long process, and there was no room for impatience. It required repeated experiments, and there couldn't be any carelessness. In the core area, Shu family ancestor, the newly promoted Rune Saint Venerable, completely stabilized his realm. With the experience of Tao rhythm, he walked higher and further on the path of runes. His mastery and understanding of ancient runes also reached a higher level. Only after becoming a Saint Venerable did one know how big the gap was between the two. Although everyone was in the other shore realm, and it wasn't a difference of a major realm, a chasm had already formed. Shu ancestor, now a Rune Saint Venerable, finally understood this point. How Saint Venerable appeared beside him, with an invisible black light emanating from his body, enveloping the two. Their conversation could not be heard by outsiders. Even those in the other shore realm were the same. Even those in the other shore realm didn't know that how Saint Venerable was talking to Rune Saint Venerable. Now, you understand, right? How Saint Venerable's voice was a bit low, seemingly calm, yet revealing deep helplessness and powerlessness. Rune Saint Venerable looked towards a distant place. In his sight, there was a divine road. It seemed that stepping on the divine road would allow one to reach a higher area and go to higher peaks. But this divine road was broken. An invisible chasm blocked the divine road, making it impossible for people to move forward. Looking at the chasm, Rune Saint Venerable also felt despair. An extremely strong aura of despair impacted his soul, wave after wave. Rune Saint Venerable couldn't bear it and could only shift his gaze. As long as he didn't look at it again, that aura would disappear, completely disappear, as if it never existed. How Saint Venerable sighed, isn't it very despairing? The road ahead is broken. No matter how high your talent or how good your opportunities, you can't move forward. Rune Saint Venerable's face was slightly pale. The joy of being promoted to Saint Venerable had disappeared at this moment. There was a slight tremor in his voice. Why is this happening? How Saint Venerable said, go to the Human Emperor Network. Rune Saint Venerable connected to the Human Emperor Network. This was the first time he connected to the Human Emperor Network after becoming a Saint Venerable. His consciousness naturally entered the Human Emperor Network, but found himself in a place he had never been to before. This is the land of Saint Venerables. Only Saint Venerables can enter. Some things, only Saint Venerables are qualified to know. How Saint Venerable's voice sounded, and he also came to the land of Saint Venerables, standing side by side with Rune Saint Venerable. In front of them were 18 huge thrones, the thrones of the Saint Venerables. Among them, 12 thrones were grey and dim, and only 6 thrones were still shining brightly. Rune Saint Venerable's gaze fell on one of the thrones, which was displayed in the Human Emperor Network as belonging to him. How Saint Venerable said in a low voice, since the war god war cut off the near ancient era, a total of 12 Saint Venerables have appeared in my human race. Now, including you, only 6 remain in the world. 6 still existed, corresponding exactly to the number of thrones. Rune Saint Venerable's eyes narrowed slightly. What about those Saint Venerables? How Saint Venerable shook his head. Before their lifespans were exhausted, they all embarked on the divine road of the human race and never returned, without exception. The lifespan of a Saint Venerable is about 50,000 years. From the near ancient era to now, more than 100,000 years have passed. A total of 18 Saint Venerables have appeared in the human race, 12 of whom embarked on the divine road after breaking through the immeasurable and completely disappeared. Rune Saint Venerable wanted to say something, but how Saint Venerable waved his hand, and a piece of information appeared in front of Rune Saint Venerable. After carefully reading it, Rune Saint Venerable's expression became even more solemn, and he muttered to himself, so that's how it is. The information he was seeing now was only accessible to Saint Venerables. That is to say, currently in the human race, only 6 people know about this. How Saint Venerable's eyes carried a trace of helplessness. In a great war in ancient times, the divine road was cut off, and the road after Saint Venerable became extremely difficult and dangerous. Seeking fresh flowers. You should know now why the various races joined forces to attack my human race at the end of the Near Ancient Era, right? At the end of the Near Ancient Era, the various races suddenly launched an unprecedented fierce attack on the human race. More than 200 races, large and small, joined forces and attacked the human race from all directions. Almost all of the human race's 4-star regions fell, and the number of dead and wounded was countless. In the end, the various races attacked the human race divine city, and the human race was in imminent danger. It was at that time that Xiao Zontian was born. With an invincible posture, he repelled the allied forces of the various races. Afterwards, he returned to the various races, and nearly half of the allied forces of more than 200 races were eventually destroyed. Many races even went to distant lands. Xiao Zontian alone cut off the Near Ancient Era and brought the entire Great World into a new era. This period of history is recorded in the various races of the Great World. But few people know why the Great War occurred. Even these other shore realm cultivators in the human race do not know why. Rune Saint Venerable didn't know before reaching Saint Venerable. Now he finally understood that the purpose behind that Great War was for the human race divine road. After ancient times, the divine road was cut off, and it became extremely difficult for those above Saint Venerable to move forward. There is more than one divine road, and many powerful races have them. But without exception, they are all broken. Only the divine road of the human race, although incomplete, has not been completely cut off. The true purpose of that great war was to destroy the human race and seize the divine road. The human race divine road is widely known, and almost every human race knows that the human race has a divine road. Entering the divine city and stepping on the divine road is also the dream of every cultivator. But almost no one knows the true meaning of the divine road. Even the Rune Saint Venerable only found out now. The Rune Saint Venerable's mood was similar to that of the House Saint Venerable, slightly somber, even his voice was like that. Has anyone succeeded before? House Saint Venerable shook his head. I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no. After a few seconds of pause, he said again, War God, should have succeeded. Rune Saint Venerable's pupils constricted, really? As far as he knew, Xiao Zontian had not appeared for many years. No one knew whether he was dead or alive. If Xiao Zontian was a Saint Venerable, after hundreds of thousands of years, his lifespan would have long been exhausted. If he wasn't a Saint Venerable, then what was he? Above Saint Venerable, what realm is that? House Saint Venerable said in a low voice, when the God Road opens next time, you will know, it will be soon. Chapter 1632, this is the explanation. I don't accept it. Unconsciously, Lin Moyu had been staying in the starry sky for more than 300 days. During this period, several people passed by. They were all attracted by the formation that Lin Moyu had set up, filled with curiosity, wanting to come and find out. But without exception, they all covered their heads and left after just one glance. The formation that Lin Moyu set up was too complicated, and the third-grade soul of the God King realm simply couldn't withstand it. Gradually, the matter of someone setting up a formation in the starry sky spread. Relying on the human emperor network, the speed of transmission was ridiculously fast. Some people claimed that if anyone could persist in watching the formation for more than 10 seconds, it would prove that his soul had reached the peak of the third grade. If he could persist in watching for 1 minute, it would mean that his soul had surpassed the peak of the third grade, and he would have the qualifications to advance to God Venerable in the future. The formation set up by Lin Moyu was used to test soul strength. Some people even started competitions for this, to see who could persist longer. However, none of them got too close, and even the closest one maintained a distance of thousands of kilometers from Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't care, as long as they didn't come to disturb him, they could watch if they wanted to. He devoted himself wholeheartedly, fine-tuning the inner formation for the fusion of runes. The fused runes gradually became perfect, with fewer and fewer flaws. Now the perfection has reached 90%, and with just a little more, it can reach true perfection. The adjustment has reached the final key point. Lin Moyu became more careful, truly concentrating, unable to attend to anything else. Thousands of runes cooperated with each other, and the formation operated more smoothly and naturally. Lin Moyu could feel the pulse in the formation, as if the formation had a life. In his eyes, the entire formation exuded vitality. It seemed that it was no longer an ordinary formation, but had spirituality. He remembered a sentence that Meng Anwen had once said, when a formation is completely perfect, it is possible for a formation spirit to be born. Under the imperial palace of the divine Xia Empire in the small world, there was a formation that gave birth to a spirit. Now, looking back, that formation was so simple, it only sealed an area, plus a simple teleportation function. But such a simple formation, because it was perfect enough, gave birth to a formation spirit over time. Now his own formation seems to have a trend of giving birth to a formation spirit. Soon, there are 3 runes left. Lin Moyu muttered softly in his heart, all the runes have been adjusted, only the last 3 runes are left. At this moment, Lin Moyu's heart showed a little excitement. More than 300 days have allowed him to deepen his understanding of runes, as well as his understanding of rune formations. He is now confident that if he sets up the golden armor formation again, he can set it up directly in a perfect state in one step. No need to spend a lot of time adjusting like this time. 1, 2, 3. The last 3 runes were finally adjusted, and the entire formation suddenly burst into brilliant light. Like a star in the starry sky, dazzling. The golden armor formation is composed of 2 formations, the outer and inner formations, and the 2 formations are connected and cooperate with each other, looking like an unspeakable beauty. The entire formation is natural, and there is not a trace of fault to be found. Lin Moyu admired the formation he had set up like an artwork. Soul power was injected into it, and the outer and inner formations operated synchronously. 11 runes flew out of the outer formation and entered the inner formation. Then the inner formation performed fusion. In just 10 seconds, a golden armor rune was fused and completed. The golden armor rune was also as perfect as an artwork, and there was no difference from the one drawn by Lin Moyu himself. Completely in line with expectations, more than 300 days were not wasted. After the first perfect golden armor rune appeared, the golden armor formation not only did not stop, but became even more brilliant. A spirituality continuously poured out from the formation. Formation spirit. Lin Moyu was overjoyed, a formation spirit was really born. This shows that the formation he set up, no matter what grade, has reached a perfect level. Creating a formation that can draw runes and fuse runes on its own from scratch. Then constantly adjusting the formation to achieve perfection. Now the formation has given birth to a spirit. That sense of accomplishment is even stronger than Lin Moyu crossing a major realm himself. Improving the realm is more like walking the path of predecessors, this path has been walked by countless people. But creating a formation that can draw runes and fuse runes on its own is unique in history. In comparison, the sense of satisfaction and accomplishment are not at the same level at all. Lin Moyu admired his masterpiece, watching the spirituality in the formation become stronger and stronger. At the same time, he continuously provided soul power to the formation. His soul power is the best nourishment for the formation spirit. This is his formation, with his marks everywhere. The formation spirit born will also belong to him. Who allowed you to set up a formation here? A low shout sounded, and a sword light leapt through the air. The attack was not aimed at Lin Moyu, but at the golden armor formation. The skeletal giant dragon let out a dragon roar, as if in anger. Golden armor appeared on its body, the armor instantly enlarged, and a large area flashed with golden light, blocking the attack. With a bang, the sword light exploded, and a sharp sword was bounced back. Lin Moyu withdrew his mind from the formation, turned his head and saw a young man with a feminine appearance. The young man was wearing a long robe, embroidered with a flame bird, looking a bit like a vermilion bird. He did not hide his information. Luo Feiyu, small god Venerable. Lin Moyu thought that the management family of Star System No 13,283 feet 100 million kilometers away was named Luo. Looking at Luo Feiyu's appearance, he is probably from the Luo family. But none of this is important, what is important is that he attacked him. Even if the target is not himself, but the formation. But everyone knows that the formation was set up by himself, and attacking the formation is attacking himself. The rules in the Human Emperor Network are very strict. Whoever dares to attack a fellow clan member will inevitably be punished and pay the price. For example, right now, no matter what reason Luo Feiyu finds, punishment is inevitable. But he can explain, just like what he shouted when he made his move, who allowed you to set up an array here? As the ruler of the star system, billions of kilometers around the star system are under their management. They are indeed qualified to manage if someone sets up an array here. Luo Feiyu can even find various reasons, saying that his array might threaten the star system, so he took action. There can be many reasons, and the final result might just be a light punishment. A fine of 10 points of divine city merit would be a lot. It is precisely because of this that Luo Feiyu dared to take action. As long as he doesn't attack Lin Mo himself, he can have various interpretations to explain. In an instant, Lin Mo understood all the possible outcomes, and his eyes stopped on Luo Feiyu. Give me an explanation. His voice was calm, and it was impossible to tell whether he was happy or sad. Luo Feiyu chuckled. You should give me an explanation. Who allowed you to set up an array here? Don't you know that hundreds of billions of kilometers around the star system are under the control of my Luo family? I have every reason to suspect that your array will pose a threat to the star system. Luo Feiyu was a little unscrupulous, squinting his eyes, with a high-ranking look, looking down at Lin Mo. Lin Mo didn't hear what he wanted to hear, and shook his head gently. Is this your explanation? I don't accept it. Chapter 1633. You shouldn't use me as a stepping stone. You don't accept it, so what? Luo Feiyu knew why he took action, because he was in a bad mood and also a little jealous. Lin Mo was only at the 5th level of the Divine King, so why could he set up such a complex and powerful array? Why become the focus of everyone and steal the limelight? Especially that statement, saying that only those who stare at the array for more than a minute are qualified to become divine venerables. He could stare at the array for more than a minute, but it was just over a minute. His soul had already entered the 4th rank, so he was naturally qualified to become a divine venerable. But that was all, which also meant that his potential had reached its limit, and it would be difficult to take another step. But looking at Lin Mo's free and easy appearance, he felt an unspeakable discomfort. Why? So he took action. For such a trivial emotion, he took action. But Luo Feiyu also had a sense of propriety. He would not actively attack Lin Mo himself. He attacked the array, so in the recognition of the human emperor network, it was different. He could have a reason to explain. At the same time, he used words to provoke. If Lin Mo fought back, then the nature of the two sides would change. If a fight occurs, even if he accidentally kills the other party during the fight, naturally, he would be severely punished, but he was from the Luo family, and there were 2 divine venerables in the family's elders. The family was wealthy, and he could afford the punishment. Luo Feiyu chuckled. What if you don't accept it? Do you dare to attack me? If you really have the guts, then hit me. He was provoking, but in his heart he hoped that Lin Mo would attack. If he encountered a smart person at this time, he might directly communicate with the Human Emperor Network and let the Human Emperor Network handle it. In that case, Luo Feiyu's plan would fail, and at the same time, he would be subject to some dispensable small punishments. But Lin Mo was not such a person. Lin Mo said softly, as you wish. After saying that, he pointed his finger, and a red light suddenly lit up. Fusion art. Time curse. It had been a long time since he used the time curse. This art could not harm Luo Feiyu, but it could let Luo Feiyu taste the pain from the soul. Luo Feiyu was shrouded in red light, and suddenly let out a earth-shattering scream. Lin Mo pointed his finger again. Stellar art. Undead gaze. A raging fire burned in the starry sky, the flames shrouded the starry sky for thousands of meters, and a gray eye opened from the flames. The eye of the undead stared at Luo Feiyu, who was still screaming, and another soul attack fell silently. The soul was attacked again, adding pain to pain. Luo Feiyu screamed even more intensely, curled up, holding his head in his hands and trembling non-stop. 2 soul attacks could not cause any substantial damage to Luo Feiyu. But the severe pain was enough for him to be haunted by nightmares for a while. The people watching from the side showed shocked expressions. He really dares to attack. Luo Feiyu is the young master of the Luo family, how dare he attack? This courage is too great. Isn't he afraid of the punishment of the Human Emperor Network? But Luo Feiyu attacked first. Is he stupid from cultivation? Luo Feiyu only attacked the array, not him. With Luo Feiyu's character, he shouldn't have attacked. What's going on? I don't understand. I really don't understand. Many people present knew Luo Feiyu, and they also knew Luo Feiyu's character, and felt that Luo Feiyu didn't look like such a reckless person. But Luo Feiyu really took action, which was incomprehensible. Luo Feiyu trembled with pain. You dare to use soul attacks on me? He endured the pain and raised his long sword. But the hand holding the sword was still shaking. There were many people watching around, and they were all stunned. What kind of soul attack could make Luo Feiyu hurt like this? As the young master of the Luo family, it was impossible for Luo Feiyu not to have soul magic weapons. He must have soul armor, and Luo Feiyu could become a little divine venerable, his soul would not be bad. But even so, it still hurts so much. If it were replaced by other divine king 7th or 8th level cultivators, they would probably collapse on the spot. Everyone realized that this divine king who could set up arrays was not simple, and this time Luo Feiyu might have kicked an iron plate. Lin Mo looked at Luo Feiyu who was standing up. I saw jealousy in your eyes. Is it because jealousy made you attack me? Do you think that as long as I attack, you can kill me in the fight? Even if you have to bear a lot of punishment in the end, it can let your jealousy be vented. I guess you should have been able to break through to Divine Venerable long ago. But because there is a problem with your heart, you have not been able to break through. It seems that your jealousy is very strong, so strong that it can affect cultivation. Your state of mind is too bad, and the road ahead is not far. Lin Mo's words were like invisible sharp swords, stabbing Luo Feiyu thoroughly. Luo Feiyu couldn't believe how Lin Mo guessed it. Was it because of his eyes? Or because of where he showed his flaws? The key is that Lin Mo was right, almost without error. He could have broken through to Divine Venerable long ago, but he had been unable to break through for some reason. He didn't tell anyone the reason, not even his father knew. But Lin Mo saw it at a glance. In Luo Feiyu's feeling, Lin Mo became extremely terrifying. Like an omniscient demon god, just staring at himself quietly. Like the giant eye of thousands of meters in the starry sky, it seems that it is Lin Mo's eye. He knew he had provoked the wrong person. Now he had two choices. One was to forcefully act according to his initial thoughts. If he could defeat Lin Mo Yu, it would prove that he was strong enough, perhaps enough to offset that reason, or perhaps he could use this to break through to the godly venerate. The second was to stop, which would make him even further away from the godly venerate. His previous wounds would be widened, and even truly irreparable. Luo Feiyu hesitated, unable to make a decision, his eyes full of struggle. Lin Mo Yu saw more from his eyes. Your state of mind is flawed, you want to use me as a stepping stone to fill the gap. But you are also afraid of not being my opponent, which would further damage your state of mind. Luo Feiyu trembled violently, a bitter expression on his face. 330, he had even seen through this. Lin Mo Yu continued, you are from the Luo family, right? Luo Feiyu nodded slightly, without saying a word. Lin Mo Yu chuckled, with the Luo family's structure, it's impossible to provoke me into action just because of some jealousy. It's a pity, I'm not a suitable stepping stone for you. At this point, how could Luo Feiyu not understand? This young man at the 5th rank of godly king in front of him, where was he a stepping stone? He was simply an insurmountable and infinitely heavy mountain. If he took him as a stepping stone, he would only be crushed to death in the end. Luo Feiyu sighed, looking somewhat lonely. His appearance was originally on the feminine side, and now it was even more so, with a deathly aura about him. His state of mind was even more damaged. The state of mind is a very mysterious thing, and it is difficult for outsiders to help, except for oneself. Everyone knows that one must have a firm Tao heart. But having a firm Tao heart is just a slogan, how difficult it is to truly achieve. If Luo Feiyu couldn't figure it out himself, he might be trapped in the small godly venerate forever, and his realm might even regress. What happened today was Luo's fault. If junior brother has the opportunity to visit my Luo family in the future, Luo will welcome you barefoot and offer a drink to apologize. Luo Feiyu left with a body full of decline. However, this remark before leaving gave Lin Mo Yu a glimmer of light. He felt that Luo Feiyu could still be saved, there was still hope. No destruction, no construction, perhaps after getting out of the predicament, a great leap forward can be ushered in. Chapter 1634. The Spirit of the Formation, Little Gold. Attention returned to the golden armor formation. The spirituality in the formation became stronger and stronger, Lin Mo Yu felt it, and increased the supply of soul power. At the same time, he put the first golden armor talisman he had just made back into the formation. The spirituality in the formation seemed to have a support, a place to go. The golden armor talisman deformed in the formation, turning into a ball of faint light. Lin Mo Yu felt that this ball of faint light was familiar. In the small world, in the formation under the palace, there was also such a ball of faint light. This is the initial form of the spirit of the formation, without a complete appearance, just a ball of light. Only when the formation becomes stronger and stronger, and the spirituality also becomes stronger and stronger, can it be possible to become other appearances. Even condense into a real entity. But that requires a lot of time, to be counted in tens of millions of years. Lin Mo Yu did not expect this, it was already very good to reach the current level. Master. A faint consciousness came from the light group. The consciousness was kind, feeling like a child seeing his father. It was conceived by Lin Mo Yu, and naturally regarded Lin Mo Yu as its master. Its consciousness was very weak, its spirituality had just been born, and it could not communicate normally. Only a weak consciousness was repeatedly calling master. But none of this is important, Lin Mo Yu knew that it could manipulate the golden armor formation, that was enough. Wrap the entire formation with soul power. Receive. He recited silently in his heart, his consciousness rolled, and the golden armor formation was immediately incorporated into his soul. The talent giant tree stretched out a branch and gently placed it on the golden armor formation. Strands of soul power were injected into the golden armor formation through the branches. The golden armor formation immediately started to operate. Just 10 seconds later, a perfect golden armor talisman flew out of the formation. Lin Mo Yu's consciousness was transmitted to the formation spirit, although the formation spirit could not communicate normally, it had no problem executing orders. The formation spirit controlled the golden armor talisman and sent it to the magic star of the skeleton god warrior. There were as many as 50 million skeleton god warriors in the magic star, following Lin Mo Yu's will, and one of the skeleton god warriors immediately accepted the golden armor talisman. Golden light spots appeared in the soul of the skeleton god warrior, and his whole body also emitted a faint golden light. With the protection of the golden armor talisman, the defense of the skeleton god warrior reached the realm of the small godly venerate. Even when facing a powerhouse of the first rank of godly venerate, he would not be easily killed. The stronger the skeletons are, the stronger Lin Mo Yu's ability to survive is. What's more, this golden armor talisman is only the initial plan, and there will be stronger golden armor talismans in the future. No matter how he studies the runes, Lin Mo Yu will not forget what his foundation is. The Undead Legion, the law of immortality is his foundation. No matter how strong the runes are, they must serve them. Only with a win-win situation for both can they become stronger. The golden armor formation continued to operate, and the golden armor talismans flew out one after another, all of which were sent into the magic star by the formation spirit. One after another, the skeleton god warriors merged with the golden armor talisman, and their defense power rose linearly. The operation of the formation was extremely stable, without the slightest flaw. A talisman was produced every 10 seconds, without any difference. However, this alone is far from meeting Lin Mo Yu's needs. At the current rate, it would still take 66 years for the entire Undead Legion to merge with the golden armor talisman, which is too long. Lin Mo Yu sat cross-legged in the starry sky, motionless. The soul began to act quickly. The soul's little hands drew out one rune after another, extremely fast. Lin Mo Yu began to create the second golden armor formation. With the experience of one golden armor formation, the second golden armor formation no longer needed fine-tuning, and the layout was directly a perfect formation. Just half a day later, a brand new golden armor formation appeared. This golden armor formation was also a perfect formation, but no formation spirit was born. Two identical golden armor formations stood side by side, operating together. Lin Mo Yu discovered an amazing thing. The formation spirit of the first golden armor formation actually took the initiative to stretch out its tentacles and connect with the second golden armor formation. After connecting to the second golden armor formation, the light group of the formation spirit seemed to become brighter and stronger. The formation spirit conveyed a joyful emotion, it seemed to like the second golden armor formation very much. The formation spirit simultaneously controlled the two golden armor formations, sending the manufactured talismans into the magic star one by one. The two golden armor formations operated at the same time, and the efficiency immediately doubled. But even so, it still took 33 years. The soul did not stop and began to arrange the third golden armor formation. This time, the formation was arranged more skillfully and the speed was much faster. In just 6 hours, the third golden armor talisman was completed. The formation spirit once again stretched out its tendrils and connected to the new golden armor formation. Simultaneously controlling 3 golden armor arrays, the array spirit grew stronger once more. Set up the array, continue setting up the array. The soul worked non-stop, continuously setting up arrays. Countless runes danced in the soul world, forming array formations. One array after another appeared. The soul's array formation techniques became more and more skilled, and the speed of array formation also increased. From taking half a day to set up an array at the beginning, to later only needing 2 hours to complete one. The array spirit was also very busy, as it had to control more and more arrays. However, this guy seemed very happy, especially excited. As it controlled more and more arrays, its power gradually became stronger, and its spirituality became more and more obvious. Finally, when the number of arrays it controlled reached 10, the array spirit suddenly swelled up. The spirituality seemed to break through a bottleneck, soaring several times. "Master, give me a name. Master, give me a name." A childish voice echoed in the soul world. The array spirit's consciousness became a little stronger, as if a child had grown a few years older. Lin Moyu chuckled, "Then I'll call you Xiaojun." The array spirit was very happy to receive a name. "Thank you, Master, Xiaojun will serve Master with all my strength." Lin Moyu found the childish voice very amusing to listen to. The soul continued to set up arrays. 2 hours for one array was already the limit, and this speed was already quite amazing. One array after another appeared, forming a formation like an army. With Xiaojun controlling them, the operation of the arrays was well organized and very orderly. Lin Moyu truly felt the benefits of the array spirit. With Xiaojun, he didn't have to worry about the arrays at all. The number of golden armor arrays in the soul increased, eventually forming a square array of 10 by 10. Xiaojun, who had become a huge ball, stopped in the center of the array, like a general commanding the army, controlling all the arrays. Every 10 seconds, 100 golden armor runes would fly out of the array and into the corresponding magical constellation. Now Xiaojun had a certain ability to communicate and could understand some of Lin Moyu's simple instructions. With 100 golden armor arrays, it would only take 7 months to allow the entire undead army to fuse with the golden armor runes. At that time, the defense of the undead army would greatly increase. Lin Moyu looked at the array formed by the golden armor arrays, recalling what he had done during this period. He suddenly had a bolder idea. If I could draw an array that could replicate arrays, then wouldn't I not need to set up arrays one by one again? This whimsical idea was quickly dismissed. A self-deprecating look appeared in his eyes. He was really trying to run before he could walk, being too ambitious. Chapter 1635. Revisit the ancient battlefield. About 500 million kilometers away from the Chu 13,283 star system, there was an ancient battlefield. The number of this ancient battlefield was 13,283, and it was under the jurisdiction of the Chu 13,283 star system. The naming method of the ancient battlefield was like this, naming it with the star system number where it was located. In the God City star territory of the human race, there were hundreds of ancient battlefields, all like this. After entering the Great World, Lin Moyu had become accustomed to this numbering method. It seemed simple and crude, but it was actually very effective. Since the emergence of the Human Emperor Network, the human race had also adapted to this method. In the past, with all kinds of names, if you were told the name of a star system, it might be difficult to think of where the star system was and what level it belonged to. A stream of light came from the distant sky and flew into the ancient battlefield. With 100 golden armor arrays, it would only take 7 months for every member of the undead army to fuse with the golden armor runes. After possessing 100 golden armor arrays, Lin Moyu chose to stop. If he continued to set up golden armor arrays, the time could be further shortened. However, from a cost-performance perspective, it was not very worthwhile. Lin Moyu had stayed in this starry sky for more than 400 days, and more than a year had passed quietly. More than 400 days was just a blink of an eye for other cultivators. But for Lin Moyu, who was less than 40 years old, it was not a short time. After setting up 100 golden armor arrays, he set up another X-Faith arrays. At this moment, the Faith array had enveloped the entire undead army. Including the real world, Lin Moyu could receive 100 points of faith power every day. Now his faith power had exceeded 40,000 points. Stepping into the second ancient battlefield, he once again felt the vast aura from the ancient battlefield. The ancient aura was fused with the strong faith of the warriors, the immortal will, the resentment of death, and the difficult-to-erase soul fragments. Various complex emotions were fused together, eventually forming a powerful and terrifying evil soul. The ancient battlefield under his feet was not far from the previous 12,301 ancient battlefield. The auras of the two ancient battlefields were somewhat similar, but different. The battles experienced in this ancient battlefield seemed to be more intense, and the ruins on the battlefield were more severely damaged. Walking in the ancient battlefield, Lin Moyu could feel a strong sense of desolation. It seemed that countless warriors had once howled unbearably here, with grief and indignation. Lin Moyu felt that the warriors on one side of the ancient battlefield had been defeated. For some reason, he felt a little distressed. This feeling came suddenly and strangely. He stopped and thought carefully. He felt that this situation should be related to Meng Anwen. In the last ancient battlefield, he saw a high tower built to imitate the Divine Sha Tower. Although he couldn't completely confirm that it was the Divine Sha Tower, his intuition told him that it was the Divine Sha Tower. Naturally, he was connected to Meng Anwen. Subconsciously, he felt that the ancient battlefield also had some inexplicable relationship with him. It's just that with his current ability, he couldn't explain this relationship. It was too complicated and hid too many secrets. Lin Moyu fell into deep thought again, motionless. Evil souls wandered in the ancient battlefield. They sensed the aura of living beings and pounced on Lin Moyu. The evil souls were filled with resentment, obsession, and various messy emotions. When it pounced on Lin Moyu was still immersed in his own thoughts and did not react. His body bloomed with a brilliant golden light, and the Divine King Golden Body was activated naturally. The body instinctively blocked the evil soul's invasion. The Divine King Golden Body shone in the ancient battlefield, and the blood flowed like thunder. The evil soul seemed to encounter something terrible and screamed to escape. Blood energy roared like thunder, echoing in the ancient battlefield. Every heartbeat was like a thunderclap, as if the entire ancient battlefield was shaking. The evil souls retreated, and all the resentment, obsession, and unwillingness were repelled at this moment. Lin Moyu came back to his senses, feeling the majestic power from all over his body. The feeling brought by the powerful physical body was completely different from the feeling of the powerful soul. That feeling of being full of power all over his body fascinated him even more. Walking on the ancient battlefield, he seemed slow but was actually fast. Lin Moyu's figure was like a teleport, and every step could take tens of thousands of meters. He saw the high tower that had collapsed again. The high tower was still like the Shashta, the two being extremely similar. Lin Moyu stopped at the ruins in front of the tower. This tower was even more severely damaged. Except for some parts at the bottom, it had been completely destroyed. One could imagine how intense the battle was at that time. If the ancient battlefield itself wasn't strong enough, it would have been reduced to dust long ago. With the previous experience, Lin Moyu found a fist mark, an extremely large fist mark. Around the fist mark were dense, spider web-like cracks. The cracks went straight through the ancient battlefield, deep into the ground. Lin Moyu was even certain that this one punch had shattered the entire ancient battlefield. Given the strength of the ancient battlefield, this was not something a god Venerable could do. As for whether a beyond realm could do it, it was hard to say. I really don't know how strong their enemies were. Lin Moyu looked at the fist mark for a while, then followed the cracks into the center of the ancient battlefield, and found the huge passage used by the formation. A large number of skeleton god generals were released. Like last time, they searched everywhere in the ancient battlefield, looking for the veins of the formation. Lin Moyu was in the passage, looking at the remaining runes. The runes were basically the same as the previous ancient battlefield, with different damages to each other. By mutually verifying and supplementing each other, Lin Moyu became more familiar with the formation of the ancient battlefield. 3 days later, Lin Moyu walked all over the ancient battlefield. All the runes inside had been recorded. Although it wasn't very useful, it was still a kind of supplement. Unfortunately, the main rune in this ancient battlefield was completely broken, the independent space could not be maintained, and there were no soul fire runes. This was also normal. The entire ancient battlefield was almost destroyed, let alone the main rune. Not all ancient battlefields could be so lucky. After searching carefully several times, Lin Moyu flew out from the ground. In this ancient battlefield, the harvest was not much. But it was better than nothing. Lin Moyu believed that as long as he went to enough ancient battlefields, he would always collect enough information and finally restore that formation. Flying into the starry sky, Lin Moyu turned his head and looked at the ancient battlefield again. Suddenly his eyes narrowed and his eyes squinted. An unintentional glance allowed him to see some different things. Lin Moyu returned to the ancient battlefield and returned to the high tower that had been turned into ruins. The materials of the ruins had been polished by countless years and had merged into one. With his current ability, he could not shake them at all. His gaze searched through the cracks in the ruins, remains. Just now, he saw something that seemed to be shining in the cracks of the ruins. But when he really stood in front of the ruins, this thing disappeared again. Lin Moyu returned to the high altitude again, returned to the original position, and continued to check. Through the cracks in the ruins, he saw that there was indeed something shining. It was just that the light was very weak, buried deep in the bottom of the ruins, and could only be seen from a certain angle. Lin Moyu had experience with this kind of thing. The undead lich flew out in response and drilled into the ruins. The undead lich's soft body drilled back and forth in the cracks. Finally, he came to the bottom of the ruins and found something. Chapter 1636. Half a jade piece, incomplete information. The undead lich flew back holding a piece of shining jade. The jade piece was only half a palm-sized, thin piece, looking very small and delicate. On the jade piece, a rune was engraved. The function of this rune was to record what happened. Obviously, this jade piece was used to record things, and its essence should be similar to a shadow stone. The difference was that the shadow stone required special materials, and this jade piece, in addition to being extremely hard, had nothing special about it. The real core was the rune on the jade piece. Without this rune, the jade piece was just a solid material. In terms of level, it could be regarded as a god-venerable realm material. Unfortunately, the jade piece was only half, and part of it had been damaged. Lin Moyu carefully observed the half-jade piece. After countless years, the jade piece was full of cracks, and the runes on it were like this. This is a high-level rune. And it is the top of the high-level runes. Lin Moyu identified the rune on the jade piece and made this judgment. This rune seemed simple, but it was actually quite complex. It was even more complex than the golden armor rune. The fact that it could still be used after being broken in half was enough to explain everything. Using a top-level high-level rune just to record some pictures and sounds. Lin Moyu didn't think it was that simple. Unless, the recorded things were very important. With a move of his soul, a strand of soul power flew out and activated the jade piece. The light on the jade piece became more and more brilliant, and then intermittent sounds rang out. God Road, Bitter Sea. Flesh becomes a boat, soul. Everything becomes empty. The recorded sounds were intermittent, and even Lin Moyu found it difficult to analyze useful information from them. What is the God Road? Is it the human race God Road? What does the Bitter Sea represent? What does it mean for the flesh to become a boat? Why did everything become empty in the end? There seemed to be a strong sense of despair and warning in the voice. Lin Moyu held the jade piece. He asked the undead lich to drill into the cracks again to see if there were any other jade pieces. This jade tablet was severely damaged, and the information inside had been greatly damaged, almost losing its function. The undead lich searched carefully, but found nothing. Lin Moyu had to give up. Brushing the jade piece, Lin Moyu left the ancient battlefield and then flew towards the secret realm. In the area where, primary 13,283 feet was located, in addition to an ancient battlefield, there was also a secret realm. The secret realm was equivalent to a star system number, but the secret realm had a name, called the Black Rain Secret Realm. It was said that the inside was a world of water, with oceans, lakes, rivers, and streams, everything. In addition to these waters on the ground, the most was the water from the sky. The strange thing was that the water on the ground was clearly very clear, but the falling rain was black. These ink-like black raindrops fell into the earth and entered the oceans and lakes, but suddenly became clear again. This conversion between black and clear was very magical. Some people said that this conversion contained some kind of law, but no one had ever realized any law from it. These people did not know the existence of the Beyond Realm, nor did they understand the power of the Beyond Realm. In Lin Moyu's eyes, the ability to suddenly change the properties of black water should be the power of the rules of the Beyond Realm. This kind of rule power was not only something that the Beyond Realm could do, but the ancient runes in the secret realm could also do the same. So Lin Moyu was not surprised at all. The benefits of having a wide range of knowledge were obvious. Many things could be seen through to the essence and would not be surprised. There was not much information about the Black Rain Secret Realm in the Human Emperor Network, but Lin Moyu had seen the information about the Black Rain Secret Realm in the Secret Realm Raiders group. The Black Rain Secret Realm had at least 3 stages. The first two stages had been cleared and there were detailed strategies. The third stage has not yet been conquered, and it is not yet known whether there is a fourth stage. Lin Mo recalled the strategy information about the Black Rain's secret realm in his mind, and he already had a plan. At the same time, he read the information of several nearby secret realms, which may be helpful to verify each other later. Although this kind of help is minimal, so small that it can be ignored. On the way, Lin Mo connected to the Human Emperor network. He wanted to accept the task of the Black Rain's secret realm. Although the basic task reward is a unified 10 points of Divine City merit, it is good to have more Divine City merit. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. A Divine City task. Explore the Black Rain's secret realm. A. Enter the Golden Radiance secret realm and collect black water. A restriction. Above the third rank of Divine King, below the little Divine Venerable can enter. A completion condition. Collect 10 portions of black water. A task reward. Reward 10 points of Divine City merit, no penalty for failure. A note. When searching for black water, please keep your mind, otherwise it is very likely to cause soul damage. A0 seeking fresh flowers. Black water will only form at the bottom of the ocean, lakes, and large rivers, and only after heavy rain, and the duration is not long. Collection needs to be rapid. The interior is not safe, please be careful. You can purchase escape talismans with Divine City merit. If there is danger, you can use the escape talismans to leave the secret realm. After accepting the task, Lin Mo saw the basic task information. This task information is useless to him. The information given by the secret realm strategy team is much more detailed. Accurately speaking, searching for Black Rain people requires meeting several conditions. First, you have to wait for it to rain in the Black Rain secret realm. The rain cannot be too small. Too small is useless, at least heavy rain or even torrential rain is needed. The rainfall in the Black Rain secret realm is regular. It will rain lightly every 5 days, lasting for 1 day each time. After 2 light rains, the third one is bound to be heavy rain. After a heavy rain, black water may appear at the bottom of lakes, oceans, or large rivers. However, black water contains a peculiar power, which has the effect of bewitching people's hearts. When collecting, various illusions will appear in front of you. It is said that some people feel that they have come to another world, and some people feel that they have become cats and dogs. If you get through it, nothing happens. If you can't get through it, the black water disappears, and the soul is damaged. Seemingly a task without life-threatening danger, it is actually more troublesome than life-threatening danger. Once the soul is damaged, it is too difficult to recover. But this is not a problem for Lin Mo. The second point to note is the torrential rain. In the Black Rain secret realm, sometimes it will rain torrentially. Torrential rain is different from heavy rain. Torrential rain will directly attack the soul. If you are drenched for a long time, even the little Divine Venerable will suffer soul damage. Moreover, torrential rain cannot be stopped. No matter where you are, you will be drenched. Even if you are at the bottom of the ocean, it is the same. The third point is the Rune Beast. Lin Mo now knows that the giant beasts in those secret realms have a unified name, called Rune Beasts. The name of Rune Beast was created by the Secret Realm strategy team, not the official name. At least people in the Secret Realm strategy team call them that. When collecting black water, you may encounter Rune Beasts. If you happen to be caught in an illusion and are attacked by a Rune Beast, then you can only pray for yourself. This is only the first stage. The real danger is in the second stage. Chapter 1637, Nostalgia in the Secret Realm. Outside the Black Rain secret realm, there are also many cultivators gathered. Just like the dungeon entrance in a small world, there are always many people. They are exchanging experiences. At the same time, they are also discussing who entered the secret realm, and then failed the task, and why they failed. Although the Human Emperor network does not allow the large-scale dissemination of strategy information, it is still okay to talk about it on a small scale. If you dare to publicly sell strategies, the Human Emperor network will directly impose punishment. This kind of thing has already happened many times in history, and no one can escape the Human Emperor network. The final result is bound to be a loss. Not only did not earn Divine City merit, but may also lose money. Over time, no one will do this kind of thing anymore. The task seems simple, just waiting for the next heavy rain, and then quickly collecting black water. But in practice, there are always various accidents. Many people have failed several times. Fortunately, there is no penalty for failure, they can try again and again. Some people have suffered soul damage and left sadly to recuperate. Lin Mo's arrival did not attract any attention. Lin Mo came to the secret realm exit, communicated with the vortex, and successfully entered the secret realm. As soon as he entered the secret realm was raining, a light rain. Black raindrops fell one after another, rendering the whole world very gray. Lin Mo stood in the rain could not wet him. Within half a meter of Lin Mo's side, the bone hell enveloped his whole body, blocking the black rain. Lin Mo carefully observed and found that the black rain was not actually rain, but rune fragments. Like the previous secret realm experience, the essence of black rain and gold rain is the same. It's just that the black shadow is not as aggressive as the gold rain. Even ordinary cultivators will be fine if they are drenched by the black rain. As long as it is not a torrential rain, the black rain can be said to be non-dangerous. I don't know if it is the first or second time. How many days do I have to wait for the torrential rain to come? Lin Mo's heart moved, and a large number of skeleton divine generals flew out to explore the secret realm. This exploration is different from the past, this exploration has a strong purpose. With the strategy, there is no need to explore aimlessly, and the efficiency is greatly improved. At least in the first and second stages, this is the case. The skeleton divine generals flew out in all directions, and faint golden lights appeared on their white bodies. The skeleton divine general, fused from 3 basic skeletons, also inherited the golden armor rune. The current skeleton divine general has the attack power of the little divine venerable peak, and at the same time has the defense power comparable to the divine venerable first rank. If he encounters a little divine venerable like Dongfang Zi, only one skeleton divine general is needed to beat him until he curses. The skeleton divine generals marched in the drizzle, they were like sharp arrows, breaking through the raindrops. The black rain could not fall on them, the golden armor rune flashed a shallow golden light, blocking all the black rain. The seemingly harmless black rain can stimulate the golden armor rune, indicating that it is not simple in itself. Half a day later, Lin Mo found the target. The black rain's secret realm is a world of water. There are rivers flowing on the earth, and lakes everywhere. In addition, there is a seemingly boundless ocean. In the center of the ocean, there is an island. This island is the destination of this trip, and also the condition for opening the second stage. The island is in the center of the ocean, and few people usually come here. Most people wait for the heavy rain to fall, then collect the black water to complete the mission and leave. Only those who want to go further will look for special areas in the secret realm. A stream of light pierced through the air, and Lin Mo appeared above the island. He stared at the island below, and muttered to himself, "It's really good to have a guide." Without a guide, he would probably have to spend some effort and rack his brains to find the right method. Unlike now, it's straightforward. Now just wait for a rainstorm. The destination has been reached, and now he has to meet the second condition, waiting for a rainstorm. Only in the rainstorm will the island change. Rainstorms depend on chance, it may appear the next second, or it may take several days, or even dozens of days. Lin Mo wasn't in a hurry, waiting quietly. During this period, Lin Mo began to study runes again. He had not yet fully mastered the runes in a rune language, and needed further study. The way of runes is very complex and profound. Sometimes it's not enough to learn it once, you may need to study the same rune dozens or hundreds of times to discover a new world. The same rune, drawn by him as a 5th-order rune master, is completely different in power from that drawn by others. It's not just about mastering the surface of the rune, but also understanding the principles behind it, to truly unleash the power of the rune, and even turn decay into magic. Half a day later, the black rain stopped abruptly. For a time, the entire secret realm seemed to become brighter. 3 days later, the skeleton god generals returned one after another. They touched the edge of the secret realm. The secret realm is not infinitely large, there are also edges. The map of the entire secret realm has formed in Lin Mo's mind, clear and incomparable. The ocean is the center of the entire secret realm, and the island is the center of the ocean. So it's not surprising that the island will become the entrance to the second stage. On the 5th day, black rain came again. Lin Mo looked up at the sky, still light rain. The 5th day is still light rain, indicating that when he first entered the secret realm, it was raining the first light rain. Calculated in this way, after waiting another 5 days, there will be a heavy rain. At that time, he can collect black water to complete the task. As for the rainstorm, he can only continue to wait, waiting for fate to arrive. Lin Mo continued to study the runes, not wasting time. As the rules stipulated, after another 5 days, another black rain fell. The black rain changed from small to large, and within a few seconds, it changed from light rain to heavy rain. Dense raindrops hit the ocean, and the sea was full of ripples, extremely beautiful. The color of the seawater changed in the heavy rain, becoming clearer, and even the bottom could be seen. It seems that all the colors were attracted by some kind of power. Then Lin Mo saw the black water in the mission. Clusters of fist-sized black water formed under the sea surface, and in the clear water, the black water was extremely conspicuous. Each cluster of black water is one serving. Lin Mo's heart moved, and the skeleton god generals entered the sea, reaching out to scoop up the black water. The slender white bones of the skeleton god generals passed through the black water, and they couldn't scoop up anything. The black water seemed to not exist. Lin Mo naturally knew what was going on, he just wanted to do a small experiment. He didn't enter the sea, his soul power stretched out, turning into a giant hand to grab the black water. This time the black water was easily caught. The black water is between reality and illusion, ordinary methods can't catch them, you need to use soul power to grab them. Lin Mo controlled his soul power, wanting to take the black water back. Suddenly a large number of rune fragments appeared in the black water, and Lin Mo's soul was also greatly shaken. Illusory images appeared in front of him, and the images quickly changed from illusory to real. Lin Mo found himself back in the small world, participating in job transfer at school. I really miss it. A look of nostalgia was revealed in his eyes. Lin Mo did not break the illusion, but actively participated in it. Chapter 1638. How many of all living beings can see clearly? Looking at the familiar scenes, those are the pictures in his memory. That campus, that city, those houses, are all places where he grew up since childhood. There are many good memories inside. Some memories are too beautiful to be buried in the cruel world. Unwilling to think about it, afraid of being defiled by cruelty. But now, this memory is found and turned into a real picture. Unprecedentedly real, as if it really existed. Lin Mo couldn't bear to shatter such beauty, he watched the scenes happen like a third party. The original illusion should have made Lin Mo fall into it and return to his student days. However, Lin Mo's soul level was too high, the black water could not affect him, but instead allowed Lin Mo to look at his treasured memories again from a condescending perspective, as a third party. Time in the illusion always passes very quickly, and life is played back like a movie fast forward. When the student days ended, Lin Mo sighed lightly, closed his memory again, and buried it again. This is his beauty, no one can take it away. The calm sea, I don't know when, rippled. A rune beast rushed out from under the sea, rushing straight at it. It has an arrow in front of its head, 3 meters long. The huge body is also covered with barbs. Rather than saying it is a fish, it is better to say it is a hedgehog in the water. Lin Mo remained motionless, and a skeleton god general appeared beside him. The rune beast's sharp arrow-like head hit the skeleton god general. Light golden light lit up, and a phantom armor appeared outside the skeleton god general. Golden runes flashed on the armor, and the rune beast was immediately knocked away. The armor remained motionless, and the rune beast couldn't break it at all. The skeleton god general swung a sword, and the sharp white sword energy swallowed the rune beast. The rune beast was killed, turned into black raindrops and disappeared without a trace. The water broke and exploded, and rune beasts rushed out from under the water, turning into arrows and rushing towards Lin Mo. The skeleton god general stood in front of Lin Mo, the golden light flickered, and the golden armor rune was completely revealed. A golden armor between illusion and reality loomed, the rune beast hit it, and without exception, was knocked away. The golden armor remained motionless, as if it didn't feel it at all. The skeleton god general wielded sword energy, constantly beheading rune beasts. These rune beasts have reached the level of the 6th or even 7th level of the God King in terms of speed and attack intensity. Judging from the minimum entry standard of the secret realm, if it is a cultivator of the 3rd or 4th level of the God King, a rune beast is enough to kill them. The rune beasts in the sea are stronger than the rune beasts in the rivers and lakes, and generally no one will choose to collect black water in the sea. There are so many rivers and lakes in the secret realm, although the amount of black water is not as much as the ocean, but it is safer. As long as you find a few more, you can collect enough black water to complete the task. If it doesn't work, wait a few more days. Heavy rain is not only once. If I can't complete the task once, I'll do it twice, there won't be any penalty anyway. In Lin Mo's opinion, compared to the previous two secret realms, the Black Rain secret realm was much safer. As long as you didn't encounter heavy rain, there was almost no danger. A portion of black water was pulled out of the water by Lin Mo, landing in his hand. As soon as the black water left the surface, it immediately began to solidify, turning into a round mass. The outer layer became solid, as smooth as glass. It looked like a black crystal, with dark ink flowing in the center, somewhat dreamlike. This was the black water required in the task. A fist-sized piece of black water was one portion, and the task required 10 portions. To the naked eye, the black water was just a smooth, black crystal, with nothing special about it except for its beautiful, dreamlike appearance. But when Lin Mo opened his eye of soul, the black crystal suddenly changed. A large number of runes appeared on its surface, flowing like water. Each rune was incomplete and fragmented, like shattered foam. The Human Emperor Network released a task to collect black water, probably to study these runes. If you want to reassemble these runes, it would be difficult to complete. Perhaps the Human Emperor Network has a better method, but the difficulty is still very high, almost impossible to complete. Lin Mo was very clear about what the Human Emperor Network wanted, or rather, what those other Shore Realm experts wanted. In his opinion, obtaining more black water was not very useful. It was difficult to restore the original appearance of the runes through these fragment-like runes. Only when cultivators completely cleared this secret realm, revealing the last corner of the runes and obtaining the whole thing, would it be of great use. Having had 2 successful runs, Lin Mo was very clear about the essence of the secret realm. The entire secret realm was composed of a corner of runes. Even if these rune fragments were successfully restored, what you would eventually get would be a corner of runes. A corner of runes was only an insignificant part of the ancient runes. Possibly less than 1%. What a complex situation. Lin Mo couldn't help but sigh. There were too many secrets in this world, too many things he couldn't see clearly. How many of the masses can see clearly? Most people are in their own world, seeing only what they see. Even God sovereigns, who seem to dominate the great world, are the same. The amount of information he had seen now had surpassed the vast majority of God sovereigns. The more he saw and the more he knew, the more he felt his own insignificance. A corner of runes, only 1% of the ancient runes, was enough to pose a fatal threat to God kings. What if it was more complete, reaching 1/10 of the runes? Would it be enough to kill God sovereigns? What if it was stronger? What if it became half of an ancient rune? It would probably be enough to threaten the other Shore realm. Lin Mo thought of many possibilities in an instant, and the more he felt the horror of the ancient runes. The secret realms in the middle and higher regions might be composed of more complete ancient runes. Compared to the secret realms in the lower regions, those secret realms were the real big prizes worth conquering. Clang clang. The sound of blacksmithing continued. The rune beasts continued to strike the golden armor talisman. No matter how fiercely they struck, the golden armor talisman remained motionless. The soul fire of the skeleton god general continued to burn. After merging into the golden armor talisman, the soul fire became the source of power for the golden armor talisman. Impacts of this level simply could not break the golden armor talisman. It would be useless even if they kept hitting it for 100 years. The skeleton god general brandished his sword energy, slashing and killing the rune beasts one by one. Lin Mo glanced at the continuous heavy rain, and his soul power was divided into 9, turning into 9 large hands, simultaneously grabbing 9 clumps of black water. The biggest advantage of finding black water in the ocean was that there was enough black water, so you didn't have to look around. The soul hands simultaneously grasped 9 clumps of black water. In an instant, the black water vibrated violently, the runes inside flickered, and a strong energy rushed into the soul, trying to drag the soul into an illusion. But this time, Lin Mo didn't want to enter the illusion again. He snorted lightly, and this power was immediately isolated outside the soul world. With his other Shore realm soul, the illusion power of the rune fragments could no longer have any impact. It completely depended on whether he was willing or not. Whoosh! The waves in the sea became more turbulent, and more rune beasts leapt out of the water. It seemed that Lin Mo's actions had completely angered them. Chapter 1639. If you don't go down, I'll force you down. Grabbing 9 clumps of black water at once, Lin Mo didn't know if he had set a precedent. Probably not many people could do it. The rune power of the 9 clumps of black water would stack on top of each other, requiring him to withstand 9 times the illusion at the same time. Coupled with the attacks of the rune beasts, there would be no time to react in the illusion, which would be very dangerous. But Lin Mo didn't care at all. He declared his strength to the Black Rain's secret realm in an extremely barbaric manner. The rune beasts rioted, the ocean stirred up huge waves, and tens of thousands of rune beasts rushed out of the sea. Lin Mo remained calm, and he didn't even bother to summon more skeleton god generals. Only one skeleton god general stood by his side, protecting the 2 with the golden armor talisman. No matter how fierce the rune beasts' attacks were, they could do nothing to Lin Mo. He forcibly grabbed back the 9 clumps of black water, and after leaving the water, they quickly turned into 9 black crystals. 10 portions of black water were obtained, and the task was completed. The next moment, Lin Mo had already taken out the Book of Runes, and continued to study the runes in it. The Book of Runes was profound and intricate, and the more Lin Mo read it, the more magical it felt. There were only 180 high-level runes recorded in it. But each high-level rune was the general outline of a certain type of rune, from which many high-level runes could be broken down. The most exaggerated thing was that Lin Mo had broken down one rune in the Book of Runes into 36 runes. And each of the 36 runes that were broken down was a high-level rune. Lin Mo also discovered that when he mastered more runes, and then looked back at the ones he had learned before, he found that he could break down new runes again. All kinds of discoveries made Lin Mo realize that the Book of Runes was not simple. Perhaps there were still many secrets in it that he had not discovered. Thinking about it, anything that could be valued by another Shore Realm expert would naturally not be simple. After the heavy rain lasted for a day, it gradually weakened. But it didn't stop completely, and began to turn into light rain. The light rain continued for several days. The rune beasts were still attacking Lin Mo. At this moment, Lin Mo had become a thorn in their side. The skeleton god general tirelessly continued to kill the rune beasts. In the past few days, he didn't know how many rune beasts had died under his sword. After the light rain lasted for 3 days, it suddenly stopped. Another light rain came, this time only lasting 1 day. Then there were 5 days without rain, and on the 6th day, the second light rain began. It still lasted for 1 day, and then there were 5 days without rain. Then the heavy rain fell. Along with the heavy rain, clumps of black water reappeared in the clear ocean. Not only in the ocean, but it should be said that all water systems in the entire secret realm would have black water appear when heavy rain fell. After the heavy rain lasted for 1 day, it stopped again. 2 small rains and 1 big rain, an 18-day cycle. This cycle repeated 3 times, but no heavy rain appeared. Without heavy rain, it was impossible to enter the second stage. No one knew when the heavy rain would come. Others didn't want to encounter heavy rain, but Lin Moyu couldn't wait for it. Since some unknown time, the number of rune beasts attacking Lin Moyu had also begun to decrease. The ocean gradually became calm, as if the secret realm had become accustomed to Lin Moyu's existence. Lin Moyu had been in the secret realm for 5 cycles, more than 100 days. During those 100 days, apart from the time he spent completing tasks, Lin Moyu was basically studying rune language. 180 days later, he slowly opened his eyes, a hint of excitement flashing within. I understand, I finally understand everything, Through repeated study and comprehension, Lin Moyu had found the pattern and understood the true meaning of rune language. He once thought that rune language only recorded a portion of high-level runes, not all of them. Later, he did find high-level runes in the Rune Masters Association's pagoda that were not in rune language. But now, he realized that he had truly underestimated rune language and misunderstood it. How could something collected by a Beyond Realm expert be simple? Rune language recorded all high-level runes, and the high-level runes he saw in the Rune Masters Association were all included in rune language. It was just that he hadn't mastered them. Rune language recorded a total of 180 general outline runes. Each general outline rune could be broken down into 36 high-level runes. A total of 6,660 runes. These runes were more comprehensive than the runes in the Rune Masters Association's pagoda. According to Lin Moyu's understanding, they should include all the high-level runes in the Great World. These high-level runes could be fused with each other, and they could also be fused with basic runes. The combination methods were endless and impossible to count. As for what kind of runes could be fused in the end, it depended on each person's comprehension ability and ability to control runes. For example, his golden armor rune was composed of a high-level rune plus 10 basic runes. The level of the golden armor rune was already not low. If he wanted to continue strengthening the golden armor rune, he would need to incorporate more useful high-level runes. But no matter how they were fused, the ultimate goal was to display multiple abilities with one rune. Even to replace complicated formations with just one rune. One rune appears, and the formation is complete. It could also make the rune stronger, integrate into the soul, and integrate into the rules. Becoming a more powerful ancient rune, turning decay into magic. Possessing incredible power. Unconsciously, Lin Moyu's understanding of runes had reached another level. He was no longer limited to the runes themselves, but began to break free and observe from a bird's eye view. The person involved is confused, while the onlooker is clear. He gradually understood the essence of runes. In fact, Lin Moyu wasn't clear that during that Tao rhythm descent, he had already touched the highest level of the rune path. The benefits brought by Tao rhythm were subtly and gradually showing. On the 93rd day of entering the secret realm, there was no rain in the secret realm, and it was calm. The rune beasts also no longer leapt out of the sea, no longer attacking Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu looked at the sky, his eye of soul had already opened silently. Dense runes appeared in the sky, all fragments of ancient runes. Lin Moyu's gaze gradually scattered, losing focus. He didn't try to forcibly memorize these runes. Ancient runes contained the power of rules, which he couldn't forcibly memorize now. He also didn't need to memorize these runes. He only needed to find the pattern of these rune combinations. Whether it was light rain, heavy rain, or even torrential rain, it was actually controlled by runes. Since the torrential rain was slow to fall, then he would take the initiative to make the torrential rain descend. His fingers seemed to unconsciously swipe, and a simple rune was naturally created. This was a spell-type rune, a basic rune, named Sweet Dew. With this rune, Sweet Dew could be brought down to an area. Lin Moyu locked his gaze on an area of the sky and shouted softly, the Sweet Dew rune flew out like lightning. The rune exploded, and the runes in the sky were immediately activated. A light rain quickly fell. On the 93rd day, it started raining again in the secret realm. This shouldn't have been the time for rain. There were still 2 days before the light rain, but under Lin Moyu's rune, the light rain fell in response. Lin Moyu's lips curled up slightly, revealing a smile. His fingers lightly swiped, drawing the second rune. Chapter 1640 Rune-Induced Rain, Torrential Rain. The second rune was a high-level rune. The function of the rune was to rain, but not ordinary rain, but rain of laws. If this rune exploded in an ordinary star, it could trigger the laws and bring down torrential rain. The torrential rain would last for more than 10 days, enough to submerge half of the entire planet. If the planet was large enough, it could also form a vast ocean. The rune flew into the sky and exploded in the position Lin Moyu had predetermined. The rain suddenly became heavier, turning from drizzle to moderate rain. But it was still a little short of heavy rain. After all, this was a secret realm, not an ordinary star. The power of runes was everywhere in the secret realm, and it was still ancient runes. The effect of high-level runes was offset and weakened, only making the rain a little heavier. If one doesn't work, then let's have a few more. The Eye of Soul continued to search in the sky, and his hands kept drawing runes. One high-level rune after another was drawn, the runes flowing like water, emitting the power of water-based laws. Then, the runes flew into the sky one after another, constantly exploding. The rain gradually became heavier, changing from light rain to moderate rain, and then from moderate rain to heavy rain. But next, no matter how many more runes were used, it was impossible to make the rain heavier. Heavy rain was useless to Lin Moyu. What he wanted was torrential rain, what he wanted was to start the second stage. Looking at the clear seawater, the black water in the sea formed a scent. The heavy rain manually triggered by me and the heavy rain naturally generated by the secret realm are essentially no different. My idea is correct, so where is the problem? Should I use a stronger rune? I can try it. The first thing Lin Moyu thought of was the general outline of the water-based runes in rune language, Origin Water Rune. In his understanding, the Origin Water Rune was the culmination of water-based runes. As for what kind of effect it would have, it depended on what method you used to guide it. After thinking for a few seconds, Lin Moyu began to draw it. He had already mastered this rune, so drawing it was not difficult. In just a few seconds, a three-dimensional and extremely complex rune appeared in his hand. Then, Lin Moyu drew another rune, the Thunder Rune. The Thunder Rune was also a high-level rune. Lin Moyu used soul power as a guide to connect the two runes together. He planned to use the Thunder Rune as a guide to stimulate the power of the Origin Water Rune. The Origin Water Rune contained the power of various water-based laws, and also contained various spells. Lin Moyu couldn't estimate what would happen when it was truly detonated. Two runes flew into the sky side by side. Boom! The Thunder Rune exploded, thunder rumbled in the air, and a bolt of lightning flashed, illuminating the secret realm. The Source Water Rune was detonated, and a spectacle appeared in the sky. Water dragons roared in the sky, a suction force was generated, seawater rose in a tornado, and a large amount of seawater was sucked into the sky. Countless water dragons appeared in the sky, constantly roaring. Lin Moyu could feel that the air was filled with a large amount of water-based laws. Heavy water laws, weak water laws, cold water laws. All the water-based laws he had seen, and those he had not seen, could be found above. As expected of the culmination of water-based runes. Lin Moyu sighed with emotion, so many laws intertwined in the sky, attracting and entangling each other, such a spectacle was rare to see. The water vapor in the air and the water vapor in the sea were all sucked away, absorbed by various water-based laws. They converged and merged in the laws, turning into various wonderful scenes. Then the rain became heavier again, seeming to turn into a torrential rain. Lin Moyu waited quietly, but unfortunately, he didn't wait for the torrential rain until the power of the runes was exhausted. Lin Moyu frowned and pondered, is it still not enough? The rain did get heavier just now, my idea should be right. It can only be said that the power is still not enough, but this is already the strongest water-based rune I can draw. What should I do? Could it be that I have to use an array? Lin Moyu fell into deep thought, and his soul showed the same expression. The soul inadvertently saw the refining array a foot away. The refining array was continuously refining the power of belief. Lin Moyu had a flash of inspiration, power of belief. What if the power of belief is injected into the rune? Now he harvests 100 portions of the power of belief every day, and with the accumulation of this period of time, the power of belief has exceeded 40,000 portions. The power of belief can enhance spells, why can't it enhance runes? Moreover, the power of belief can originally be integrated into runes, isn't that how the belief great array came about? His thinking was suddenly opened up, and as soon as he thought of it, he did it. Lin Moyu began to draw runes again. The Source Water Rune was drawn again, followed by the Thunder Rune. The combination of the Thunder Rune and the Source Water Rune had been proven effective, so no changes were needed. Then Lin Moyu exported the power of belief and injected it into the Source Water Rune. With the power of belief, the Source Water Rune gradually became illusory and hazy, and its aura was rising rapidly. Lin Moyu was not stingy with the power of belief at all, it was simply like opening a floodgate, giving as much as was needed. The Source Water Rune became more and more illusory, until it became completely transparent, already between reality and illusion. Lin Moyu stopped at this point and did not continue. At this moment, the Source Water Rune had reached its limit, and with a little more power of belief, it might explode on the spot. The transparent and illusory Source Water Rune dragged the Thunder Rune into the sky, and the Thunder Rune exploded as before, acting as a fuse to detonate the Source Water Rune. Boom! In the thunder, Lin Moyu only felt that the entire secret realm was shaking violently. For a time, the earth shook and the mountains swayed, the sea surged against the current, and for a time the sky and the earth were reversed, making it impossible to distinguish which was the sky and which was the earth. Laws roared in the sky, and water dragons appeared again. At the same time, along with the water dragons, there were also streams of bright starlight. Streams of lost starlights appeared in the sky. Lost starlight is the ultimate expression of the power of law, and it is the power of the divine Venerable. What can surpass the lost starlight is only the power of the rules of the other shore. The ancient runes in the secret realm do have the power of rules, but the number is too small to resist the power of the lost starlight. Innumerable seawater was drawn into the sky and turned into law dragons. The law dragons roared and constantly collided with the sky. The lost starlight poured down, becoming their aid. Boom! The sky and the earth shook violently again, the sky was broken, and countless black water fell from the gap. The rain instantly expanded, directly changing from heavy rain to torrential rain, without any prelude. The sky is leaking. Lin Moyu looked at the sky and whispered. Countless holes appeared in the sky, and black rain poured down, turning the secret realm as dark as ink. The entire secret realm was dyed ink black, and the rain invaded the soul. In this case, ordinary cultivators could only retreat. If you don't retreat, you will die. The next second, he looked down at the island under him. The rainstorm has arrived, it's time for you to play. The island had already begun to shake, and it was gradually becoming stronger, as if some terrible thing was reviving. Lin Moyu stood in the rainstorm, and the pitch-black rain was blocked by the golden armor rune. But what was blocked was only the form, not the essence. The water of the rainstorm was different from before. It not only fell on the body, but also fell on the soul. Outside Lin Moyu's soul world, there was also a rainstorm happening. The rain contained a powerful force, trying to bring the soul into a fantasy. Unfortunately, Lin Moyu's soul world was too strong. Unless he was willing, it was impossible to succeed. Lin Moyu felt the rainstorm and muttered to himself, so the rainstorm is black water.